Live, guys.
See, I could have been out had Dad if I was still there.
Man, you should have smashed that shit, for real.
Oh, dude married anything? The black guy?
He said he married, which I don't. That's his deal. All right. I'm gonna see where this single thing takes me for a minute.
What's up, Matt?
I'm not gonna fucking.
I'm in the house.
How
come this is not?
I'm gonna chill for a second.
Oh no, we can't. Something's wrong here.
What you mean?
Alexa, shh. I gotta turn this. Hold on. Okay.
You good?
I gotta do something now.
Oh yeah, and I'm just gonna play the field, man.
Right.
I gotta take care of something.
You talked to a girl from Southern?
Yeah, we still talk. We still talk, you know. Keep it casual, cordial. You know, we go hang out and shit, but I ain't. No, man, I'm just chilling, dude. I gotta chill.
Okay.
I gotta.
Has stopped. Oh my God, this is. Something's wrong here.
What you mean something's wrong?
Something's wrong. My. Okay, here we go. Finally. It's not. It might be sketchy tonight. I don't know.
No.
Because this damn thing is not
work.
even. It's not even wanting to.
That's him.
Call.
What?
You might need to use your phone.
What?
Because this motherfucker's just not working. See how choppy this shit is? All slow. And we're actually live too.
Yeah. Nothing like a.
Normally you don't get this much action. Oh, it's working. Well, you know. Cool.
Crank that volume up.
It should be good now. And I can go live here. Buenos dias. I don't really know Spanish, but
¿Y habla español? ¿Un poquito español? Ay, parlez-vous français?
Oh, sweat French, yes, oui, monsieur, oui.
Mais oui, bien sûr.
We are here.
¿Cómo ça va?
I don't know that language.
Oh, ¿cómo estás?
¿Cómo estás, gringo?
Así, ¿no?
Alright, we live on Periscope.
Yay, Periscope. The two people on Periscope, peace.
Hey, I need you to plug that cord up. When you can't afford a producer, so technical people, we gotta do it. We gotta set everything up ourselves.
This might be a little.
Hey, you just getting ready for the Trump regime.
Yeah,
Under Trump,
true.
we don't have to do everything ourselves.
Hey, hit that window for me, would you, dog? No fan, just the window. A little airflow. All right. I'm sorry about how late we're running. Just as they say in the industry, a cunt hair late, but we're getting her together.
Know about that, so we don't use that kind of language.
No, not on the radio. Thank God we're not on that yet. It's been one hell of a week. I will say that much. It's been one hell of a week.
Fuck you, ass.
But
Contest for that.
one step closer, folks, to the Civil War. One step closer to World War III. So smoke them if you got them. Thank God I got one.
Can you plug?
Are you almost done?
I'm almost done. I need one. I'm missing. Okay, there you go. I think this is it.
I just brought that one in,
That's
but use
not
it. Feel free to use it.
I can't use it.
Why?
Because this one has a special cord.
Mm.
The shit's not universal anymore.
Well, you know, believe it or not, I do got 1, 2, 3 cameras pointed at me right now.
Yeah, this is
Really?
a little behind the scenes.
CBS and NBC, here we come. Motherfuckers.
So how's everything going on that side, Mark? Is he there?
Sucks then you die.
Really? Hey, can you pull up his bio in that phone or something?
You sent it to me.
Yeah, I sent it to you, but can you pull it up?
I can pull it up on the laptop. That's what I'm going to do.
Cool. We got to have your bio. We're going to do this shit proper today. Everything's going to be perfect.
Yeah.
Except for...
Well, you can obviously tell we ain't perfect.
I mean,
at
yeah.
the time. It's like...
We're only
It's like...
15 minutes into it.
Like, these motherfuckers...
But this is what the people love. They love this authenticity. It's like
Yeah.
grandma making that spaghetti.
You know it.
You know, it's real.
No, grandma making them chitlins.
Oh, God, no.
Greens.
Oh, I'm good.
Some hog jowls.
Yeah.
The fuck you talking about spaghetti?
Yeah. What's wrong with spaghetti? You better get it where you fit in. You better get some greens.
Dude.
What?
I guess we had one conversation about being so silly, and you done gone hog wild.
I watched all the Godfathers movies.
3 of them.
Can you
All
put
3
that
of them.
volume up?
That's it. That's all I can... It's coming out the back, too. So that's picking up good.
Told you only Godfather 3 had the one token Negro in it.
Yes, it did. Well, it's like all those movies
At
back
the very
in the day.
beginning.
You know?
At the
And in
very
fact,
beginning, they had the token Negro.
I have to say, Godfather was a very racist movie. That one motherfucker, they go to rob the truck, right? The guy gets out. He goes in the store. He goes
Godfather was not a racist movie. Godfather was an accurate movie.
Well, yeah, but how they threw niggas under the bus and that. You know, the guy...
That's just how it is in this country.
Well, yeah, you got that right.
You do realize that no Mafia movie is made unless somebody from the mob is on the set, right?
I've heard that before. I've heard that. But the mob
Like I
folks
said,
did not exist.
There were 3 things you never saw mentioned in that movie, and that's what pissed me off about it.
And what 3
Nothing
were
about Vietnam, nothing about Kennedy,
Yeah.
and nothing about all the student protests going on back here in the country.
And that's odd because they did sure enough film down in Cuba.
Nothing about the civil rights, the women's rights, none of that stuff.
Well, that don't matter. None of that stuff matters.
Well, it does when you got your headquarters in New York, because a lot of that stuff was going on in New York. Hell, 67 in Detroit, the Chicago Convention.
Right.
That was Robert Kennedy. If they don't mention the Kennedys at all, hell, what family was more famous from the Catholic side of the house than the Kennedys? And you don't see or hear not one mention of them in those movies.
No, I mean, it does have a high, Catholic theme in it. Which brings me to another point. The Pope talking about hell's not real.
We gotten there yet? Are we on the radio yet? Are we on there yet?
We're live on Periscope and on Facebook.
But we haven't done your intro
Right now?
We're live on Periscope and on Facebook.
We can't be because nobody's done my bio or anything or introduced me or nothing. So I'm like,
He's in limbo. We're getting your bio pulled up right now.
I got the bio and stuff. That's fine. That's fine. I just gotta pull it up and click the button to go live on YouTube.
I have to know when we're live and not live, so I can be, more politically correct. And
Right. We can't tarnish his fine reputation.
Oh, that's tough.
I mean, no.
I know you guys are, but I do realize you guys are in mourning today
Because of the death of whom?
Stacey Dash pulled out of the race here in California.
Oh.
Oh my God. Isn't that chick the one that's all fucked up in the head? Like she wants to be a black chick to make the money,
she
but
did say
white
in
chick.
the movie Clueless.
Yeah. She's fucked up in the head. And
But
her
she did look
cousin.
good in Playboy.
I never saw her in Playboy.
I have to go get that cord and then we can go live on.
All right, I'll pull up the.
I got the thing
bio.
right here. You sent it on. You sent it to me. Oh,
Yeah.
I don't know why I went there.
All right, just a few more moments, and we got a lot of bitches on that motherfucker.
Huh?
None.
Well, that's my sister, and that's my sister.
Oh, okay.
The other ones are just,
What's up, brother-in-law?
The other stuff is just, something to do on a rainy day.
There you go. Need them rain checks. It can't be that far up.
I see it.
Okay, cool. And we got the bio right here. As soon as we get the cord in the house, we're going to say the bio and we're going to start this blessed show.
There it goes. There's the bio. And I'm going to make it a little bigger so I can see it. That's still typing. You just can't see it.
All right.
Check in with my parole officer by 4:30.
Oh. So how long we got you today? How long?
Matter, you guys keep me over past whatever time we agree to anyway, so why you bother asking?
Because I don't want to break tradition.
Well, we'll see how long we go today before somebody jams the show or I get some weird knock on my door.
Right. Some weirdo tripping.
When that truck drives by with the
Right.
with the wand finder to do the jam, and then yeah.
Right. Show's over, fellas.
Okay. He's coming in with the cord right now as we speak. We'll get into this. Got a lot of stuff to talk about. Got a bunch of questions from different people or whatever you
We're
said.
in business. We're good. We'll be live in like a couple of minutes. Can you please plug that up? Plug both of these up. Plug that cord into that one, and then that goes into there. But I need these. We can't do nothing without these cords.
Damn, if Stacey Dash pulled out the race, she must be depressed right now. I should go by and see her.
That'd be
Get a
good
quick
time
date.
too.
Get her while she's thirsty.
That'd be good time.
Vulnerable in her moment of weakness, and tell her how much I supported her campaign.
What was she running as, a Democrat or Republican?
A Republican.
Come on, dude. She ain't running no Democratic.
Well, I mean,
She said some.
look, I mean, she got her little money. I mean, I
foul
guess
stuff
she's
on
rich
Fox
or whatever.
News,
But
man.
I don't think so. That's why she's running. Let me explain to you guys how this works, okay? Republicans run for office even when they know they can't win because they get to keep the money after the campaign is over.
It's like having a nonprofit without having a 501c.
I don't think she has money. I think that's why she was trying to run. And if she's not running, that means she's probably in trouble.
I mean, but doesn't she kind of come from people with money? The Dashes, her cousin has.
Have you ever done a research on her background, dude?
No, honestly, I haven't.
Yeah, you might want to check that out. In fact, that's why she tries to pretend like she's got street cred. She's a hood rat.
Oh God.
Oh, I'm sorry. Well, that's not politically correct.
No, not at all. And I'm not drunk enough to condone that.
But I gotta quit drinking. Shit.
Hey, you know what? I got a couple of bad emails, talking about, do we have to drink and smoke or whatever that we do while we do the show.
Because I don't hang out with you guys, so I have no idea.
Exactly. Don't hold what me and Dimebag do against our guests, because we're here so that they can bring you guys knowledge that you need to hear.
We live on everything, Mark.
All right.
So see, now I get it. So what you're telling me is, while I'm sitting here at home in this little box, isolated with no lights on, hiding from everybody so they don't know I'm doing a show with you, you guys are blazing it up and having a good time while your fans are watching this shit on the damn TV. Oh, I see how you roll now.
That's kind of it.
Well, some of your followers, they left some questions.
A lot
of questions for you, and they want to hear the word.
You want to read his bio?
We got to go through the proper spiel, right? Don't we?
Yeah, we gotta do our thing. And then
Welcome to the other morning show. I'm Dimebag Doily.
I'm TruePowerIsMine.
And
special guest on the line.
Special guest, but we got to go through a few announcements and stuff. We'll thank all the subscribers. Yes. Karen from Memphis, appreciate you. Steven from DC, appreciate you. You got anything?
Well, Rhino from Tallahassee sent us a few bucks.
Seminole sup.
Rachel, and then there was a Karen, Ashley, and David sent us.
And so the guy here on the phone, he spent his first 5 years in the streets of Harlem, roaming the streets of Harlem, before being sent to a segregated Jim Crow, Johns Island, South Carolina, to live with an aging grandmother. He is listed in international who's who of professionals and a former member of many globalist organizations which few ever hear about. He has provided briefings to NATO personnel regarding less than lethal, non-lethal technology, and he has provided counterterrorism training to personnel from law enforcement agencies. He is both a retired U.S. Marine officer as well as a retired LAPD patrol supervisor. Mark is an FBI certified range master and has served as a technical advisor for several popular Hollywood movies. Since retiring, he has returned to life as a lazy surfing beach bum, where he spends much of his time coaching and mentoring some of the most successful young female surfers from around the world. Ladies and gentlemen, Mark from Anaheim. Huh?
I have a question for you.
I'm listening.
Are you guys like in the fucking voodoo and shit? Because every time I happen to come on the show is the same day that my girl gets knocked out of a real important major professional surf contest.
No.
Including today.
No.
I'm not making this up. This happened the last 2 times I came on this show.
Oh my! Is it the one from Brazil?
You think we should start having you on like on Saturdays or Thursdays?
She's from the French Caribbean.
Maybe that's what it is.
And the one from Brazil, is that the one where somebody made a comment because I posted a photograph of her?
I believe so.
Well, you know that's Savannah Lima. Now, Savannah Lima has no sponsors because she doesn't fit the profile.
Right.
Tattoos. She had to sell her house to go on tour.
That's what I'm saying.
That's too much playing.
She's serious about that.
And meanwhile, I can put this out there because she's already put it out there. There's nothing like reading a French newspaper and seeing a surfer being quoted in the French newspaper by saying she lost her sponsor because she doesn't show her ass enough. And had she showed her ass more, she would still have a sponsor.
So tits and ass pays off.
Well, you see them uniforms and stuff
look,
that they wearing.
What about the Me Too bullshit? You know, hey, he touched my tits and ass.
Exactly, that's my whole point.
Because the Me Too movement.
So, gentlemen, as you can see, and for the listeners out there, the misogyny is alive and well. And I've been supporting women's surfing for quite a while. I've been supporting women's sport for a long time, but I know I've been stirring the pot because, see, I mentor and coach a lot of females, and I do it at my own expense. Because most of them, they have no sponsors, they have no coaches. It sucks, man.
It does.
So I instill in them their own self-respect and don't let themselves compromise their souls. So I was shocked to see my surfer being quoted in a French newspaper, but I was very proud of her. Consequently, I'm going to dedicate this show to her while I'm still sober. Tessa Tyson, I love you.
Awesome.
Yeah,
and I'm glad you had the moral courage to stand up for yourself. So we'll see what happens.
But we all know in this world, moral fortitude isn't a...
By the way, believe it or not, her family might be listening to the show because they seem to have a knack on knowing when I'm always on the radio.
Well, I tell you,
hey, you'd be surprised how many surfers from around the world follow me.
I'm not
they
surprised.
read all my stuff. I can't get you aren't supposed to read my stuff, but people around the world, because they're like, how the hell did you put a corrupt Hillary Clinton and a racist Donald Trump as your number one and number two candidates running for president?
Right. Right.
People outside the U.S., they ain't falling for this okie doke, and they look at us not going, what the hell happened to your country?
Well, it's just like Easter. Everybody else in the world is going to celebrate it, what? Easter Monday. We're going to celebrate it Easter Sunday.
April Fool's Day.
Cause they
Perfect day for it, because Easter's bullshit anyway.
Well, you know.
Yep.
Are we going to have sexual prostitutes?
I'm going to ask you a question. Do you celebrate your birthday on the same day every year?
Yes, sir.
The same number.
So how the hell could Jesus Christ die on this day, and then one year we celebrate it in March, another year we celebrate it in April? Come on, folks. That doesn't have anything to do with Jesus Christ. It's all about the sun worshippers.
I'm going to celebrate it the way you said the last time you explained this. That seems more appealing to me. So that's what I'm going to do.
So, anybody ever ask how the hell does a bunny rabbit lay a chicken egg?
Exactly. And why does the eggs have to be dyed?
You know what the bunny's all about, right?
Sex. It's all about sex.
Wealthy folks in Europe, man, they used to have, these big old castles with the mazes and for the yards and stuff. So they'd go out and get the hottest looking girls in the village, have them run all through the mazes and hide. And if the wealthy guy finds them, then they could do whatever they want to them sexually.
Yeah. And
that fertility thing.
You know, this whole
and
world.
And back in the old days, even when they used to sing Christmas carols, they used to do that in the nude.
I'll talk about titty hard on. That would be so extremely cold.
You got that
polar bear
and Viking blood. You can take it for temporary.
It's like the Marine Corps Commandant. The Marine Corps will be populated with pure Aryan blood Viking warriors. Fuck you guys.
How'd you know that?
Because you told me.
I don't recall that, sir. You can prove it. Lying denied.
Pull up that tape. Pull up the tape.
No, that was true, man. In fact, I went to officer school with his the one you're referring to was Holcomb. I didn't go to school with him. I went to the College of Charleston. His grandson went to the Citadel. But I'm the one responsible for his girlfriend dumping his ass. She had no idea how... I saved a lot of white girls in my time because they never had an idea how racist their boyfriends or fiancés were until they introduced that person to me. And then later on, when they're going home on that ride home, homeboy couldn't hide his true feelings. So I saved a lot of girls from years of anger. There's this one beautiful European American. She used to go to country bars. Had hair down to her butt. I mean, literally. Her hair covered her ass. And one night she comes into the bar and she's there with her fiance. Now, up until that time, I didn't know she had a boyfriend because she always came to the bar, she danced, but she always went home alone, went home early, came alone, went home early. So she goes, "Oh, Michael, I want to introduce you, blah, 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 blah." So I entered, I was, of course, I was all happy, congratulate her. Didn't see her again for like 3 months.
Damn.
So one night I walked into this place. This is a place called Crazy Horse. It was a real famous Crazy Horse on the West Coast out here. By that time it was Irvine Spectrum. But anyway, she comes in and I say, "Hey, how you doing? How's married life?" And she looked at me and goes, "What married life?" I go, "Well, the last time I saw you were engaged." She goes, "Oh, yes, I owe you a drink." And I'm like, "What are you talking about?" I mean, she doesn't even drink. But she bought me a drink. And the reason she bought me a drink, she goes, "Michael, you saved my life." What are you talking about? I had no idea how racist that piece of shit was until I introduced you to him in the bar that night. And on the way home, he just went on and on about the nigga this, nigga that, nigga this. And I dumped his ass the next day. Dude, let me explain how important this is. I met her less than 2 weeks before her wedding. See, there's a reason for everything.
Heck yeah.
So less than 2 weeks before her wedding, she found out who this guy really was only because she introduced him to me. And by the way, I should tell you, I was always a fly in a bowl of milk in that damn bar. Well, there were two other blacks in that bar, but they worked in the bathroom. One was a guy who handed out mints and stuff in the men's room, and the other one was a woman who handed out candy and stuff in the women's room. But I was always the only black, on the dance floor and stuff.
I got it.
I saved that young lady from a life of misery, and she's not the only one. So I've done that several times since, but I mean more times than I probably will ever know.
But the thing about it, do you ever trip on these dudes ever finding that finding out that you're the catalyst for them losing their chick? Like,
I jumped one time because of that.
Yeah. Was it the time with the Nazis or different?
I've been jumped before. But the thing is, but I will say there was one time when I didn't get jumped because of one of those girls. And I didn't know it at the time, but several of these Nazis were going to jump me, and then one of them goes, "Hey, that's that dude. What dude?" And he goes, "Yeah, my girlfriend was stranded one night. All her friends left her at the bar, and he made sure she got home safe and stuff." I didn't find this out until she told me about that later.
Oh, shit.
Hey, karma's a bitch, man.
It is. When it hits instantly. I'm still waiting on the karma for, some of the shit that's been going on in this world to come back around.
You think it hasn't come around? Don't think you're going to be around to see it.
Well, I would hope I do.
Vengeance shall be mine, saith the Lord.
Well, that is true. That is true.
That's why I don't ever have to wish harm on anybody, because everybody who's ever gone out of their way to do something to me, something always bad has happened to them, and I've never wished harm on any of them. Let me tell you all a little story about something that happened since I spoke to you last. March Madness is going on, right?
Mm-hmm.
Well, I'm from Charleston, as y'all know. When y'all said I was down to Johns Island, South Carolina, down there in segregated Jim Crow Johns Island. That's in Charleston, South Carolina, Charleston County, Well, Charleston basketball team made the NCAA March Madness. And they had their game out here at San Diego State University. Now, of course, I'm an alumni, was on the sailing team, give money to the school. We still recruit people for the college. Was even a college alumni coordinator out here in California. So needless to say, when they had their little shindig for all the California College of Charleston, Southern California alumni, they had this tailgate party at a bar in San Diego. You know who got invited, right?
Oh, absolutely. Yours truly.
No. I didn't get an invitation at all.
Well, you should.
So going back to what I'm telling you about these white girls who always remember me. I had a young lady, haven't seen her in over 30 years. Sends me a message on Facebook and says, "Hey, did you know there's going to be an alumni shindig down in San Diego?" I said, "Thank you very much. I'm dropping everything I'm doing because I'm going to crash that bash." I got up at 4 o'clock Friday morning, drove down to San Diego, walked around campus, took photographs and stuff, had dumbass cops following me around, don't have a clue who I am, but they weren't stupid enough to bother me. And then I made it a point to go down before I knew the crowd would be there. So I walked into the bar because this thing was supposed to start like 1:30. So I walked into the bar like 1:15, the big sign on the door, closed for private parties. So I walked in like, "Wait a minute, you guys aren't open today?" "No, we're closed." "Well, why are you closed?" This college is going to have an alumni party here." "Well, what college is it?" And then two guys sitting at the bar, "College of Charleston," all proud and shit. These guys like in their late 20s. I'm like, "College of Charleston? That school fucking sucks." So you look at these two white boys, they don't know what to think, right? So I go, "What, you go to college?" "Yep." And I go, "So, what's your school mascot?" "The Cougars." "What's your school color?" "The Maroons." "And why is your school color the Maroons?" "I don't know. Because your fucking mascot was a goddamn Cameroon spare-chucking nigger before they changed it to the Cougars." Then I looked at the black guy behind the bar and I goes, "By the way, this place going to be packed here pretty soon, so I'm just going to let you know right now. There's going to be two niggas here, you and me." And guess what? Guess how many blacks were at that function?
A dose. 2.
There he is. And don't think I didn't put on a show. Now, why do you think I made it a point to drive all the way down to San Diego?
Oh, you like making people feel uncomfortable.
Yes. That's the best way.
Oh, no, it gets better than that. The present president at the College of Charleston is a proud neo-Confederate who loves to dress up like he's back in the South in the Confederate States of America Army.
Mm.
And they even find a few little house niggas in Charleston to run around looking like they're playing with washboards and stuff so they can do reenactments from the Civil War.
Disgusting.
Right.
That's absolutely fucking
And if you think,
disgusting.
and if all you listeners out there, if you think I'm making this stuff up, you could go on the internet and just Google College of Charleston president Civil War reenactment, and you will see photographs of him on the internet. So needless to say, they had a local television crew that followed the college alumni out here. I made it a point to go right up and grab that president, because now the TV camera's flying, so he can't do much. And we acted like we were best friends in front of that TV camera while they were filming for all the folks back home in Charleston.
Mm-hmm.
Now, why am I telling you all this? What happened was the College of Charleston. Well, I'll ask you, gentlemen, because you're pretty sharp. If the College of Charleston is the first municipal college in the country, why isn't it the oldest?
Did you already say it?
Did you?
Yeah, I'm thinking.
College of Charleston is the first municipal college in the United States. Why is it not the oldest municipal college in the United States?
The oldest?
Why isn't it?
Yeah, why is it?
Why is it not the oldest?
Yeah.
Because a white judge in Charleston went before the United States Supreme Court and said it was wrong to have segregated schools. Have you guys ever heard of Brown versus Board of Education?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
You know Brown died last week, right?
No, I did not know that.
How old was he?
Yeah, she died last week.
Oh, shit. Oh, she.
But I'll just tell you this. She's not even the one responsible. It was actually a minister from South Carolina who died like back in 1971. He's the one who actually introduced the lawsuits that led to Brown versus Board of Education. And he got run out of South Carolina. They burned down his church and they burned down his home. But anyway, I digress. So what happened was this judge from Charleston, he did a very good job of presenting the case why schools should be desegregated. The Supreme Court agreed. Oh, you know what Boulay member was on the Supreme Court at that time, right?
What did you say?
The Boulay member was on the Supreme Court when this ruling was made.
Do you know that?
No, I did not know that. Well,
Thurgood Marshall.
Yeah, it'll be Thurgood Marshall. He's the only black.
Right. So anyway, so in 1954, the Supreme Court agreed. Now this white judge who ruled, he comes back to Charleston. They ran him out of town. He had to move to New York City. He and his wife. His name was Judge Waring. Well, what the College of Charleston decided to do was become private. That way, no niggas could have to go to College of Charleston.
Yep.
So if you look in any of the history books today, the history books will tell you that William and Mary is the oldest public school in the United States, even though the College of Charleston is the first.
Damn.
So what happened was the College of Charleston stayed private until 1968 when they were about to go completely bankrupt. They took the federal money, and once you take the federal money, you got to let the niggas in.
Right.
And the whole team black.
You know, Mark, what's really going on in Charleston? You have the Jekyll Island meeting down there. You have all this other stuff that you always...
No. Jekyll Island is in Georgia.
Is it?
Ask him if the basketball team
yeah.
all black. Ask him if the basketball team all black.
Is the basketball team all black in Charleston?
Oh, there's a funny thing. I just did a writing because South Carolina played against UConn. Now, you know the women of UConn, they have always been the badasses on the planet.
Yes.
In fact, I loved it because the University of Connecticut women have the all-time winningest records of even men NCAA basketball.
Yes, they do.
But I say this because I'm sitting in a restaurant, because I don't watch television, but I'm sitting in a restaurant, in South Carolina, University of South Carolina, the real USC, not this Southern Cal that they got out here. They got their butts whipped by Connecticut.
Ass kicked by 40 points.
And I sat there in a restaurant, and this woman working in the Chinese restaurant looked at me and goes, "Aren't you from South Carolina?" "Yeah." "Didn't your school just get whooped?" I go, "Yeah." "Why are you smiling?" I said, "Let me explain to you something. I was watching the University of South Carolina when they were still in the ACC.
Mm-hmm.
Now, back in 1971, they dropped out of the ACC. During that time, the only time I could see a black playing for USC was Alexander English or Nate Davis. And I didn't see no black women. In fact, I said I didn't see no white women. Because back in those days, the NCAA, they treated white female athletes worse than they treated black athletes.
Damn.
So for me to sit here tonight and watch 5 black females playing for the University of South Carolina, they might have got their butt whipped, but I can't help but smile because we've come a long way.
Mm-hmm.
There you go.
Because that one center, she was the shit.
It should be our song. We come a long
Michelle Wilson?
way, baby.
Yes, she was the shit. She's the shit.
Never heard of her. Yeah, and Asia's dyslexic too. So I'm glad that she came out publicly because I'm sure there are a lot of other people out there who are suffering from that and are hiding it.
Mm-hmm.
So to have her out there as a role model saying it's okay, you're not alone.
That's a good thing.
Yeah.
A very good
Yeah.
thing. You
So
know,
the College of Charleston, it's sad because I started school there in 77. My first memory of the College of Charleston was in 68. Now we're coming up on the anniversary of what? What is this year the 50th anniversary of?
should be the Korean War.
Should be the assassination of Martin Luther King Jr.
What?
50 years. Damn. 50 years.
Shit, still
But back in those days in Charleston, we still had theaters where they had a colored-only section, which I never could understand because the colors sat up in the damn second floor, up in the balcony. So actually, the niggas had the best seats. But anyway,
Right.
Well, they just didn't want to walk the
was blacks
steps.
only called the Lincoln Theater. So I used to go to the Lincoln Theater. Dude, I eat the popcorn would throw up. Food was nasty. Everything was nasty. The rats thought they were badasses. I saw roaches kicking rats' ass in that fucking theater. And I'm serious as a heart attack. However, what I will tell you was the great thing about going to that black theater. You want to know who Herb Jeffries is?
Never heard of him. I mean, I might have seen his work.
And that's exactly why you got me on the show. Because while these white folks want you to believe that Gene Autry is the singing cowboy, Herb Jeffries is the original singing cowboy.
Mm,
Now he was a mulatto, but he went as a black person. He didn't try to pass.
gotcha.
And there were lots of black movies for cowboy, lots of cowboy movies back in the early days with black folks. Now it's next to impossible to find them, man. It's sad.
It
We've
is.
lost all that history.
You know,
So
I heard.
anyway, I went to that theater, and I was only 11 years old at the time. So I didn't know. In fact, I was 10 and a half. I didn't know what was going on, but I'm walking down King Street in Charleston. I see all these guys in uniform. And they're driving like mini tanks and stuff, so I don't know what's going on. But, 10 years old, I'm curious. So I walk down, and where do I walk to? The College of Charleston. When I get to the College of Charleston, this white guy sticks a damn M1 with a bayonet on it in my face and goes, "Nigga, keep moving on."
Damn.
So what had happened was Martin Luther King had been assassinated a couple of days earlier. So the first thing they had to do was save all the little white girls at the College of Charleston. So they had the college surrounded by National Guard with barbed wire and tanks and shit.
Damn.
That was my first experience at the College of Charleston. By the way, I should tell you, too, they changed that mascot from the Cameroon to a cougar in 1971 because they didn't allow any blacks into the school until 68. And by the time he graduated in 71, there were enough students on campus who were angry because they actually had a couple of now black basketball players. And it was just too embarrassing to have a mascot that was a Cameroon spear-chucking nigger when now you got black players on the team. So it was actually students on the campus that got the campus to change the mascot to a cougar. And that didn't happen until 1971. So while people like to sit here and think this all shit happened in the 40s and the 30s, okay, I went to school there in 77. I started school there, in January of 76. And I can't begin to tell you how many women on campus asked me if blacks had tails.
Stop. Just stop.
And
Just
how many
this
of them
one in
ever asked
front,
that question
baby.
Again.
That's fucked up.
And I can't begin to tell you how many white women on campus who literally live in small town South Carolina where blacks live on one side of the railroad track and whites live on the other side.
Mm-hmm.
So when their parents came to visit, I had to pretend like I didn't know them, or their parents would have taken the money away from them to go to school.
That's sad.
And I stay in touch with a lot of them to this day. Some of them I haven't seen in more than 30 years, but hey, they are a pipeline when I need information on the shit that's going on back in South Carolina. Just like that damn alumni party down there in San Diego.
Crashed it.
Oh, and the reason I was so happy to go there, because see, this is personal for me. I held a College of Charleston alumni party at the LAPD Academy back in 1996. A woman who went to school with Barbara Bush. Barbara Bush went to school in Charleston. Not at the college, but at a all-girls school. So this woman comes to the reunion, and this is what she tells me in 1996. We never intended for so many of you colored folks to become middle class, and we're taking our country back.
Mm.
And guess what? That's what you see. That's what you see going on right now.
Well, you know,
they are taking back their country,
and they're taking it back to pre-McCarthy day. You know, the birth of John.
And
Burgess.
she graduated from the college in '56, so that's exactly what they're taking it back to.
Now, did you ever discover if Barbara Bush was related to Aleister Crowley?
Never discussed that on the radio. Why you put my personal business out there, dude?
No. I mean, no.
See, this is why you don't be blazing up before the show, because you just use our telephone calls with our radio show. Damn, now my truck's gonna blow up.
No.
Let me just put it out there. As they always say, full disclosure, Daddy Bush and I were closer than any other president that was in the White House. Even though the Clinton administration granted me more access, it's amazing. The Clinton administration, Bill Clinton loved me. I don't know why, but it's amazing. Anything I asked for when Bill Clinton was in, they granted me access to stuff that I would do radio shows out here, and I would get pipeline information directly from cabinet officials there.
Shit.
But Daddy Bush and I were members of some of those organizations you alluded to earlier, so I was always closer to Daddy Bush. And I've done some research since you asked me that question off air on the telephone. And all I can say to you is this. Somebody has done a very good job of sanitizing the internet. And since I have no personal knowledge on it, I cannot say one way or the other.
Gotcha.
However, that would suggest to me that there might be something there.
And once again, all you listeners.
I will say there's a connection with Crowley and me too. I used to have the hots for his daughter Zena. Never met his daughter Zena. He used to correspond with one of his granddaughters. They're all crazy.
But they're all rich. They're very rich. Because, their daddy was the wickedest man in the world. Ozzy Osbourne.
It's not hard to be rich when... See, you have to understand, wealthy people are into that shit.
Mm-hmm.
And out here in California, a lot of folks who have gotten where they are in Hollywood is because of the deals they made with Lucifer.
Unfortunately, yes. Yes.
And two movies that I highly recommend to all people is Eyes Wide Shut.
Yes.
And also The Ninth Gate. The Ninth Gate.
The Ninth Gate. I'll check that one out. But Eyes Wide Shut with Tom Cruise, I've seen that, and it is bizarre as bizarre can be. Made it. It's trippy.
Stanley Kubrick.
Yeah, he was a great director. Great director.
Well, he claims he's the one that made the fake film for the moon landing.
I can see it. I can see him doing that, some work like that.
Plus, O.J. Simpson was in a movie about that, Capricorn One, that they told you they made in a Hollywood studio.
Well, another guy I've been talking to lately, John Lear, off whatever TV here, and we've been talking a lot, and a lot of that moon landing, there's a guy that has a website, and basically there is an atmosphere on the moon. The moon isn't a dark, opaque sky. There is color to it. So, we have been lied to. And what pissed me off, we paid all these tax dollars to NASA, the National Nazi Space Administration there, and they've just been basically, bushwhacking us. Not giving us all
back to what you just said. You don't realize how close to what you just said. Let's go back to Crowley. You have to come out here to Southern California. Because, see, in Southern California, we have Pasadena. In Pasadena, we have JPL, the Jet Propulsion Lab.
Mm.
Now, up in Santa Barbara, we have Vandenberg Air Force Base. Now, Vandenberg Air Force Base used to be called Camp Cook. Camp Cook is named after a Union general during the Civil War.
Yep.
Now, just to give you how deep this is, this general during the Civil War, his daughter married Jeb Stuart's son. Y'all know who Jeb Stuart is?
No, who's Jeb Stuart?
Oh, my God. Colonel Jeb Stuart of the Confederate Southern Army.
Oh, God.
So what I'm telling you, this is what a Civil War is all about. You got one general who's the father of a daughter who's married to the son of a Confederate general. Worse, General Cook's son, guess what side he fought for?
Northern?
Nope.
Southern.
So you got a Northern general who's got a son fighting for the South, and his daughter is married to the son of a very high-ranking popular general from the South. That's how split this war was. But I say that because during World War II, Camp Cook was one of the 7 major POW camps used for the Germans.
That's fucked up. Because they were treated so much
war,
better.
Going back to the German connection here, you know about things like Operation Paperclip.
Yes, sir.
Mm-hmm.
Where all our missiles launched from on the West Coast.
Basically, Southern California.
Vandenberg Air Force Base. And what kind of name is Vandenberg?
German.
Which reminds me, folks, where's the happiest place on Earth?
Well,
depends.
Sweden should be the happiest place.
And you guys know they always say that Disneyland is the happiest place on Earth.
Yes.
I thought we.
And where's Disneyland located?
Is in Irvine or Anaheim, California. No, downtown Disney is in.
What kind of name is Anaheim?
German.
You starting to see a big picture here, guys?
Yes, German.
Now let's fast forward to 2018. Who's in the White House?
Trump.
It's a Germany.
Where's his daddy from?
Germany.
You starting to see the big picture here, guys? They have infiltrated our government, our corporations, and all of our major industries and control most of the media now. The Fourth Reich is alive and well, and people here don't even know it. Because we bring these folks over here after the war for scientific reasons and intelligence purposes. They don't change.
No.
They change you.
They have tentacles. They just grow, just go out.
In the 1990s, when there was a survey done, since they're talking about census right now, no less than 40% of the U.S. population proudly stated that they were of German ancestry or descent.
Damn.
No, because God knows I fucked a whole lot of them.
I know it.
So,
No, I'm serious. In fact, have you ever seen the movie Ricochet?
yeah.
I hope you guys, when you talk to me, you also have a piece of paper so you can write notes down. But Ricochet is a movie with
Ice-T.
An Ice Cube.
No,
Ricochet.
Ricochet.
It had that old
and
guy,
Denzel
Gene,
Washington.
the white guy, Gene.
Oh, okay. I know you're talking about now. I was
Well, the
thinking
white guy was
Trespass.
from that stupid TV show, Third Rock from the Sun or whatever.
Yeah, the daddy guy.
What-
Bald
Right.
head.
But he played a great Nazi in that damn Ricochet. And Denzel Washington was an up-and-coming LAPD cop who gets tapped to be a deputy district attorney. And these white folks set his ass up, but he didn't even see it coming. Because he prosecuted this one Nazi and put him away. And what did they do? Get this fine-looking German girl had her go out and deliberately get the clap to give it to him.
You give it to his wife.
So what I'm telling you is their women will do anything and everything for their cause.
Oh, yeah. Haven't you ever seen some German shyster videos? They eat shit and all that. It's disgusting. Fuck.
This went over your head, so write this down. They will do anything and everything for their cause.
You don't really watch the tape.
Take those 5 letters, CAUSE. Do some research. Because they are the ones who have infiltrated most of your local law enforcement all throughout the Southern California, throughout the rest of the United States.
He has mentioned the Nordic Brotherhood. Missouri has the same thing.
There you go.
Brotherhood of Law. I mean, these cats are everywhere.
Yeah. You'll find a sprinkle of
What
everything
happened was in
Missouri.
the Obama administration, because of what happened with Darren Wilson in your home state there.
Yes, sir.
Oh, it's all kind of
The
chaos
Justice
here.
Department was coming out with a damn report on how many of them had infiltrated law enforcement. Donald Trump gets in. William Sessions, they destroyed that whole report,
Yes,
got rid
sir.
of that investigating unit.
Took
And
them
now
off
they're
the
telling you
terrorist
about
watch
some
list.
bullshit black identity extremists.
Right.
Yep.
They took them off and put us
Meanwhile,
on.
these guys have infiltrated all your law enforcement. Now, many of them are part of the Oath Keepers, but a lot of the guys who are the hardcore, they're not part of the Oath Keepers because they are a subculture within a subculture.
Well, some of the Oath Keepers are black. You know, they're, patriots. They believe they're doing
You
the
got
right
Uncle
thing.
Tom's like David Clark, that's the Oath Keeper.
Oh, yeah.
Again.
We don't need no Uncle Ben with a gun.
Mm-mm.
Yeah, I'm gonna reach
I'm
out
telling
and
you, though,
touch
it's
you.
cause. When you guys get some time, and for you listeners out there, you do some research on cause. There was one federal judge that investigated them back in the 90s, specifically LA sheriffs, a few LAPD, but mostly LA sheriffs, and he only touched the tip of the ice cream.
Oh shit!
Those guys, and those guys were involved with the Manson family.
Helter Skelter.
They're all connected. What I'm just telling you is now, because Trump's in the White House and they're being basically ignored, nobody's got them under the microscope. They're coming out with impunity now.
Yes.
So you're going to start seeing a lot more deaths and murders where nobody's being arrested for it, no suspect seen, but it's being done deliberately. The Civil War has already started, guys.
It has, unfortunately. We were talking the other day.
I still got
When
my
you talk to
extra
people-
pitchforks.
They always talk about, Chicago, blacks killing blacks and all this. I had suggested.
How do you know that?
I
Half
don't
the time the guys are killed and there's no suspect seen, and all the news says it appears to be gang related.
Exactly.
So everybody goes on with their life.
Yeah.
Let me just tell you a little thing that happened after O.J. Simpson was found out guilty back in 1995. Black women out here are getting killed left and right. Now, mind you, in places like Santa Barbara, L.A. County, Orange County, Ventura County, people would open up their cereal boxes and would find things saying, "Go out and kill a nigger tonight." I'm not making this up. Oh, and by the way, the guy they arrested for that, guess where he lived? Pasadena. It's all connected, man. Pasadena's a very racist state. In fact, you go to Pasadena, they still have street lights that have the SWAT stickers on them from the 30s and the 40s. And they refuse to change them.
Because it's
A
tradition.
lot of devil worshiping goes on there because you have the Angeles Crest Forest. A lot of dead bodies, a lot of child murders, a lot of worship, a lot of death goes on in the Angeles Forest. But anyway, there was something like over 200 black women during like a 5 to 6 year period that were killed.
Shit.
Now, sadly, there's this one black guy, dumbass. He was a mechanic for LAPD, worked 77 Division. He gets arrested, and they call him the Grim Sleeper. Now, don't get me wrong here, folks. I don't like to be misquoted. I'm not talking to you gentlemen. I'm talking to people who might be listening to the show. Don't get it twisted. I'm not saying he's not responsible for some of the murders. But what I'm telling you is he's damn sure responsible for 200 plus.
Right.
They'll arrest this black guy and make him out to be the most prolific murderer in California history. And that's a bunch of bullshit. Because I can tell you about white guys who have killed people you could not even imagine how many bodies they've killed, and the cops only arrest them and charge them with a few murders.
Yeah.
Once
So
again,
anyway, the Grim
They gonna
Sleeper,
skew the
the Grim
numbers.
Sleeper has, I think he's going to get the death sentence, but I know at least he's got life in prison. But he was actually found guilty for against maybe like 20 of the murders. Meanwhile, you've still got dozens upon dozens upon dozens. No, by the way, this is the thing that pissed me off too. Now, having worked for LAPD, I remember this personally. Because I'd come to work and there'd be some new notice up. Woman's body found, no suspect seen. These are not hookers, dogs. I'm talking about people who were nurses, school teachers, housewives, people who were respectable in the community. Yeah, there were a few hookers out there, but most of these women were not. But, you know, the cops just passed it off because they looked at them and said they were like NHU. I'm sorry, NHI. You guys know what that means?
no fucking loss?
No human involved.
No human. What the fuck does that mean?
When you're investigating the murder of a black woman, no human involved.
Yeah.
Oh, God. Get the fuck out of here.
You brought me on the show because you know I'm going to tell you how it is.
Yes, sir.
That's what we
Oh,
want.
dude, that is heart-wrenching. That's
Well,
straight
what
up
I'm trying to
heart-wrenching.
tell you, gentlemen, is cause was behind a lot of that because they figured the nigga got away with murder. Because remember, Nicole Brown Simpson wasn't born here. She's from Germany. Blonde hair, blue-eyed Aryan. And they believe that the nigga got away with it, even though I've already told you about a book called Blood Oath, written by 4 Nazis who told you they're the ones who killed her, made it look like the nigga did it, killed a Jew because he was just another, you know, as they call it, collateral damage. So
Yes.
there's no law. And they did it on the 10th anniversary of Alan Berg, who was a Jewish talk show host.
That was killed up north, like northwest. He had a beard and
Idaho.
shit.
Idaho. In fact, if you all want a great movie that I recommend, is a movie with Deborah Winger. It's not a very high budget movie, low budget movie, but some of those are the best movies. Two low budget movies that I highly recommend. Tom Berenger and Deborah Winger in a movie called Betrayed. And that one you'll see where they'll take a black guy, especially like a black guy in college, turn him loose in the woods, and then all the white guys can go hunting for him, go coon hunting.
It's like that Ice Tea.
But another movie that I
Yeah.
highly recommend. Susan Sarandon finally divorced him, pissed me off because I waited all these years for Susan Sarandon, but by the time she divorced him, I'm like, dude, your shelf life is up. But she divorced Tim Robbins. Tim Robbins was in another movie, not a high budget movie, but I highly recommend it. It's called Arlington Road.
Arlington Road.
Jeff Bridges and Tim Robbins. Now, Arlington Road is based on true stories. It's based on the Oklahoma City bombing. It's based on the Ruby Ridge shootout. And it's based on another one of those neo-Nazi militia movement things that happened during the Clinton years.
Mm-hmm.
See, these folks had a lot of plans. And that's why, I'm just going to tell you, certain people actually put a stop to what these guys had planned by allowing Donald Trump to win. Had Hillary won, they were going to use Hillary as an excuse to galvanize all the neo-Nazis and white separatists and white supremacists and white sovereign citizens in this country for an all-out civil war. By having Donald Trump in, the gun sales have gone down. So when you have a Democratic in the White House, they go, the Democrats will take your guns away.
Mm-hmm.
You better go out and buy some more guns.
Right.
Gun sales have actually gone down because of Trump being in the White House.
Well, a lot
So
of
it's
people
kind of a weird thing. In the one sense, I'm not telling you I'm not a fan of Donald Trump, but what I'm telling you is these white folks really believe that Donald Trump's allowing them to get away with things, when in fact, Donald Trump being in the White House is slowing down their emotions because they can't get people angry. See, when you have the nigger in the White House,
Oh, you can get them
that
jammed up quick.
galvanizes all the haters.
Mm-hmm.
If you had Hillary in the White House, it'd be just like Bill Clinton back in the 1990s when you had guys like Gordon Call, The Order, and all these other groups I can tell you about. Well, see, but now having a Republican in the White House, they can't get their base fired up enough to start out this all-out war that they want to do. But don't think that at the same time you don't have cells in certain places, like especially in Indiana. Ever since Tom Metzger went back to Indiana, there's been a lot of murders of black women and children that you don't hear nothing about in the news.
And you ain't gonna hear about it.
Because he's smart. He
And you
wants to
ain't
be
gonna hear
low.
about it.
He wants to be low key.
You ready to take some questions from your
Phone.
peoples? Because they
Aye,
sent
aye,
in a
sir.
whole bunch.
Hit them with
I
a
guess I
question.
should write these notes down. Let's see. We talked about the cars of Charleston. We talked about UFC basketball. And we talked about cars.
Yes, cars.
Right. Yeah, I always go back and watch the raw film of it. So.
Yeah, I have dial-up, so I can't watch that stuff. I go on YouTube with dial-up, and after 5 seconds, they cut me off.
I'm just trying to avoid the comments.
And by the way, you better enjoy these days because your time's running out soon.
Yeah, I know. Net neutrality is it's a very real roadblock.
Net neutrality, my ass. YouTube and everybody else is just going to delete your ass because they're not going to consider you politically correct.
Yep.
Well, but I believe in America and the apple pie.
America is everything from the top of North America to the bottom of South America. This is only the United States of America, or as we say in French, d'état unis. Give me some questions.
All right. This first question in. The questions will be read in the order that they came in. This.
You didn't remind me. I also talked to you about Tessa and how women surfers are being the victims of misogyny. Okay, I'm sorry. Go ahead.
This is from.
Well, when I started speaking French right now, it reminded me.
You got anything else you want to say before I start?
Yeah, who does your hair?
Myself. Okay.
Right.
This one's from Scam Likely. What can we do about the powers that be?
Well, that's a very vague and ambiguous question, but I'll try. So what can we do with the powers that be? I don't worry about the powers that be. This is what I try to tell folks. One, it's not my place to tell you what to do. However, I know always people say, well, you always point out the problem, but you never point out the solution. That's because you already know the solution. Step one, stop putting your fucking personal family business out there on social media. Especially after you saw what's going on with Facebook right now.
Mm-hmm.
Stop putting all your family business out there in the streets for the whole world to see. You got a family problem, you keep it inside the family.
Yep.
You can pick your friends, you can't pick your family. Number two, stop living beyond your means. Now, I had a brother today, and I know what brother means well. In fact, he's probably listening right now. But this brother sent me a Facebook message today, asked me, is Obama really bisexual? I heard that he was. And I'm like, who gives a shit? First of all, he's been out the White House for a year and a half, and how does that put any food on your table?
Exactly.
See, we're worried about things like Stormy Daniels and all this other crap. That's to distract you. If they want to worry about Donald Trump, instead of talking about Stormy Daniels, why don't they talk about the fact that the NRA, who's his biggest supporter, and that's who's been in the news for the last, ever since Parkland shooting.
Right.
Why don't they talk about the $20 to $30 million that the NRA got allegedly from Russia, and then use it towards the Donald Trump campaign?
Oh shit.
See, we don't hear about that because if you put that out there, then you'll find out how quickly all these white folks who, you know, God bless America, USA, USA, and you'll see how quickly they go. Wait a minute. The NRA got money from the Russians?
Right.
And you'll see how quickly they start losing their membership. See what I'm saying? Follow the money.
Hold on. NRA got money from Russia. The NRA got money from fucking Russia. Because that's actually news to me. You know, that's like saying the Boy Scouts of America just got funding from fucking ISIS. You don't get money from Russia.
So I'm going to say this again. The NRA got somewhere between $20 to $30 million from a banker in Russia who's drinking buddies with Putin and in bed with the Russian mob. And you don't hear nobody talking about it. In fact, it's sad because the only news outlet that has even reported on it was the Rolling Stones. But they set the Rolling Stones up a few years ago, as you could remember. And now the Rolling Stones kind of keep quiet because they look like shit because they ran with that story about the black girl that had been raped.
Oh, by the lacrosse team.
The Duke stuff.
See, that's how they set you up. They set you up so you can go run with the story because you don't verify the story and you don't even know you were being set up. So later on, nobody's going to believe you when you come out with a true story.
Right.
Damn.
Right.
That's how the system works. See, the system works two ways. One, If somebody has something legitimate to say, you make them appear to be crazy so nobody believes in them, or you destroy their character so nobody listens to them.
Damn,
So,
dude.
to answer that question, I said early, stop putting your business out there for the whole world to see on social media sites. Stop living beyond your means. Now, when I say living beyond your means, I have not had a credit card in over 10 years.
Pay cash.
Go.
A guy like, you take a guy like Ralph Nader. Now, Ralph Nader has run for president like 3, 4, 5 times. Do you know he has never had a credit card?
They just keep some of that campaign money.
But he's a weirdo anyways.
Yeah.
My point to you, though, is when it comes to living, okay? Now, I had a sister come on my site the other day tell me, we need to boycott. Boycott fucking what?
Yeah.
We need to boycott Easter and Christmas. I go, let me give you something quick, okay? I go, first of all, I have never bought my children a Christmas present. And I hardly ever eat yard buzzard. And I'm a Christian. Because I know both of those holidays are bullshit. Christ was not born in December. And I'm not even going to get into the Thanksgiving thing where they raped the damn Native Americans and stole their land.
Right. Right.
Okay, so I don't celebrate that crap. But more importantly, I don't celebrate Christmas or Thanksgiving. You got millions of people in this country who are not Christians, and you got millions more people in this country who are atheists. They're already boycotting Christmas and Thanksgiving.
Yep.
I don't waste my time with boycott. What I do is I spend my money wisely. Let me give you an example of what I'm talking about. Now, I did not vote for Barack Hussein Obama in 2008, and I didn't vote for Barack Hussein Obama in 2012. But I don't tolerate disrespect, and I don't tolerate bullshit. When Barack Hussein Obama got elected, I basically stopped going to honky-tonks and rodeos because I saw how racist these white folks were. But more importantly, I saw how racist the state of Arizona and Nevada were. Now, I was very popular in the honky-tonks and rodeos in Nevada, Arizona, and California. Been featured in Professional Bull Rider magazine and other rodeo magazines. I stopped going. I have not spent a dime in Arizona, and I have not spent a dime in damn Nevada since Obama was elected. You have to start spending your money with people who do not disrespect you.
Right. Right.
You have to start spending your money wisely. I've never had a cell phone, except for this flip-open phone. Bought 2 of them so that way that when the battery dies, I still have a backup. Never had a smartphone. Never had an iPad. I've never had an iPhone. Never had satellite TV. I had cable, got rid of it in '89 when my daughter was born because I didn't want her to see the soft porn on TV. And yet folks come to me for information when they got all the technology out there. I'm still driving the same vehicle I bought in 2001. Pisses me off because California's raping me because I'm still paying the same amount for the registration now that I did when I bought it in 2001. But my point is, we will sit here and bitch, whine, and moan, but we got to have the latest big screen TV, the latest smartphone, and all the high-tech gadgets. Got to have the brand new car, and then 2 years later, that car is sitting in the backyard. You're still paying on it, and it's on blocks because you can't even afford to pay to drive it. You can barely make the payments on it. We are living beyond our means.
There you go.
And guess what? The chickens are coming home to roost.
Yep.
Because if you think 2007 and 2008 was bad, you haven't seen anything yet. We're living right now in a hell of a credit card bubble. The housing market has gone right back to doing what they did before the last stock market crashed. And worse, we have a student loan.
Yes.
That is worse than the credit card loan.
Because you can't write that off, folks.
Nope.
You will pay that loan.
No, because they changed the rules so you can't write it off.
They fixed
and
that.
Who do you think benefits from this last tax law that Donald Trump signed in the process? Who's the Secretary of Education?
Betsy DeVos, who owns all those companies that actually underwrites the student loans.
There you go. And I say to you brothers again, Why is it that you don't ever hear anybody mention the John Birch Society on any of these damn radio shows?
Because people don't want to get hurt. Point blank.
Because everybody I've mentioned you tonight so far, they all have one thing in common.
JBS.
They're all members of John Birch Society, even DeVos.
Yep.
And her brother Eric Prince, who started Blackwater. So, if you want to know how do we take on the system as they claiming it, stop living beyond your means.
Yes.
Stop keeping up with the Joneses.
Yes.
Stop being dishonest to your children. You look at your children's face and go, look, I know Susie Rottencrotch got the brand new dress. But guess what?
Mm-hmm.
We don't make the money Susie Rottencrotch's mom does, and you can't afford the brand new dress.
Right.
I'm taking your little ass down to Kmart. Oh, I'm sorry, they're closed now. I'm taking your little ass down to Toys R Us. Oh, I'm sorry, they're closed now. I'm taking your little ass over to Walmart, and we're going to get you some clean dresses to wear, but that's all we can afford.
And they on the brink,
we're
too.
too worried about what other people think, and we're so worried about peer pressure because we don't teach our children to have pride in themselves. I went to school, dude. Trust me. You know, people sit here and act like, oh, he's telling these stories, but I'm telling you the truth. I know what it's like to have. Oh God, I'll just say it because you know, man. Hang on, let me
say it like it is.
And I tell you this.
Check
Check this out, okay? I know what it's like to be 7 years old, taking a dump in the woods, and then looking at my bowel movement and seeing a 3-foot tapeworm in it.
Oh shit.
Oh yeah, no pun intended. Now let me tell you why I'm telling you that. Listen to me very carefully, folks, as I'm telling you this. Those days have returned. Do some research and see what's going on in Alabama, Mississippi, South Carolina, North Carolina, all these southern states that are red right now.
It's that mealworms.
You got children. Most of them, by the way, are white, but blacks too. The tapeworms and the hookworms are back.
Yes. That's what
What,
I
from
was saying.
Florida?
Remember I was talking to you about that hookworm when I was telling you about that stuff that's going on in Alabama with that hookworm?
I remember what show I'm on right now. What are you talking about? Do I remember you though?
I was talking to True Powers. I wasn't talking to you.
Oh my God, hookworm.
Okay, check this out.
That's uncooked pork.
As I was telling you, listen to me. In European countries, you have to deworm your child before they go to school. They don't do that here.
Mm-mm.
So for you folks who want some advice from me, you take your little child, I don't care what ethnicity that child is, because I don't believe in the term race.
Right.
And you get them some mineral oil. And you make them take some little mineral oil, because that mineral oil will go into that body, and those worms go, what the hell is this? And they will drop off that intestine and go right out there. When you see your child scratching their ass, they got worms.
Oh shit.
Yeah, I'm a country boy. See, I know this stuff. I'm the last of my generation that's part Native American and black and grew up in that where we used to don't trust Western medicine. So I'm trying to tell you folks, okay? I knew what it was like to have to chop wood. I knew what it was like to pump water. I knew what it was like to use an outhouse. I'm not making this crap up, and I'm not that old. And yes, I did walk 3 miles to school. And it's true, because all the schools down there were segregated back then.
Right.
So I'm telling you, as you see what's going on in this country today, you want some tips? There's a little medicinal, and I don't make no money from sharing this with you. Over the counter, get yourself some 3S tonic, SSF. High in iron and other things that you don't get in your normal meals. Here's one for you, folks. 3 6s, if you can find it. I wish I was making it up, but it's true. 666 is quinine. Your child has a fever, especially since y'all took that bullshit, nasty-ass flu vaccination. You get that fever, get that quinine and break that fever. Now, for you Latino folks out there, especially you Mexicans, El Salvador, Nicaragua, Honduras, Guatemala, live down south of the border, you know damn well that half those soft drinks that you're drinking, you got no damn business drinking. Because if your girl or your wife or your ruca, your chola is pregnant, those damn soft drinks down there have quinine in it. 666 is quinine. There ain't nothing that beats a fever better than 666.
You ready for the next
You can't
question?
get 3S tonic, then you look for, I'm sorry?
What am I getting? What is it?
So the other thing I was going to say, if you don't get the 3S tongue, at least get cod liver oil. Cod liver oil is rich and high in vitamin D. And since you folks hide from the sun every day because you're working in these offices all day and exposed to all this artificial light, you definitely need to have yourself some cod liver oil. But more importantly, get that mineral oil. Because mineral oil tastes nasty, and that's exactly what the worms say. Because you need to deworm.
Mm.
Do you know most people who are alcoholics are not alcoholics?
I'm not.
What are they?
You know why they're alcoholics?
Why?
Because they have worms in their bodies, and it's the worm that has the craving for the alcohol. So the worm makes your body believe it has the craving for the alcohol.
Mm.
Oh, God.
So you can blame the local
I'm serious.
drug.
But you know me, I ain't gonna lie to you. I wish I could sugarcoat this, but not.
Don't sugarcoat it.
No, do not. They don't want that. We need the real.
Sugarcoat it. The next question is from Reasonable Dude. He asks.
Bye. Well, go ahead.
Yeah, that's his name. He wants to know what specific type of firearms and how many would you recommend for blacks to buy for the coming America tribulation.
First and foremost, stop turning your damn guns to these police departments so you can get a damn, a coupon to go to Walmart or whatever.
Yeah, don't do that.
White folks are buying guns and ammunition like it's going out of style, and you folks, dumbasses, are turning in your weapons.
That's the reason why I got 2 extra Fort picks, because I don't turn them in.
They're not good against AR-15.
Well, first and foremost, know what the laws are in your area, because every state has different laws regarding firearms. Now, we all have a saying, I'd rather be judged by 12 than to be carried by 6.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not going to come on this radio show and tell anybody to break the law.
Right.
However, what I will say to you, if you are a law-abiding citizen who has a legal reason to have a weapon, I see no reason why you're turning it in, because the other folks ain't turning theirs in.
No. Hell no. Hell no, they're not.
As far as what type of weapon to have, once again, that's a vague and ambiguous question, because I don't know whether you're living in the city, if you're living in the country. A lot of folks out there have problems with the so-called sporter rifle or the AR-15 type weapons. And I'll just say, if you live in the country, you definitely should have an AR-15.
Oh, yeah.
Now, do you know why I would say that to anybody living in the country?
It's reliable. It's good to hunt with.
Because chances are, if you live in the country, the closest or fastest response when you call 911 could be 30 to 45 minutes, if not more.
Yeah, when everything's popping off, absolutely.
Yeah.
I recommend everyone get a 9mm and a 45. For one, a lot of, it's going to be like a video game.
If you're going to have rifles, first of all, I always recommend a shotgun. Shotgun is the best home defense you can have.
Yes.
Seriously. But when it comes to a pistol, people talk about the 45 because it's a man knocked down and all that. That's all well and good. But I recommend for women, I'll just tell you this. Guess what's the most popular weapon that the Mafia uses?
Probably 38. Snub nose.
22.
Oh, God. Bounce around in the old brain
Because
pan.
they shoot you up close and personal.
Mm.
Now, most cops don't even know this because most cops are idiots too. The average gunfight between two individuals is 2 to 5 feet.
Dude. Close
I'm
quarters.
just telling you.
That's close quarters.
So most cops train on these bullshit ranges where they're shooting 25 yards away and all this stuff. That's why if you look at the Sacramento shooting, remember how I kept talking about, the cops shot him 20 times. Remember that? How many times would the brother actually hit?
I seen one report that said he got hit about 7 times from the back.
So he was shot 8 times, 7 of those from the back. So out of 20 rounds, only 8 hit.
Damn.
So I'm just saying to you that, because he wasn't 2 to 5 feet. He was further away, and they sprayed and prayed.
Yeah.
So when it comes to picking what kind of weapon to get, number one, I love the 12-gauge shotgun for home defense. But that's me. Okay? the average housewife may not like
A kit.
a shotgun. So I say, instead of this 45 everybody wants for the housewife, a great weapon to have is a PPK. So I didn't come on this show to market weapons. I just say this. When it comes to number one, first and foremost, know what the laws are in your area. 2, go to a reliable, reputable gun range and get some proper training.
Yes.
And 3,
trigger locks.
If you're really serious about this, then just find me at Mark From Anaheim, Political Sarcasm 101 on Facebook.
There you go.
I mean, after all, I am a certified FBI range master.
There you go.
Protect yourself, because I guarantee you they are.
Because no one else will protect you.
No.
Seconds matters when minutes count.
Yourself. Dun, 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 dun. I'm sorry.
The next question is from Colette Mack. How will the vaccinations control the Knights of Malta impact the ruling elite and their plan for divisional world control?
Yeah. I know. See, you play this game where you throw in 20 questions in one. But, all right. So, now the brother earlier said he saw the 3 Godfather series movies. Is that correct?
Yes, sir.
So you saw Godfather 3?
Yes.
What was that about?
Oh, it was basically about Michael coming to terms with killing his brother Fredo and fucking up his life with his wife and the kids and shit.
No. That's not what it was about.
I never seen the third Godfather.
That's good. What was it about?
The third Godfather shows you becoming a Knight of Malta.
It was set like in the Vatican area and shit.
Look, let me refresh your memory again. The first 5 minutes of the movie, he becomes a Knight of Malta. That's the only movie in the 3 where you see one token nigger. At the Knights of Malta meeting, you have Willie Brown, who was the Speaker of the House of California, but in that movie he pretends to be an attorney or a lobbyist, and he goes, Michael, we got another lawyer or another judge in our pocket. He goes, good, we can always use another judge. And that's the only time you see a black in all 3 movies, and it's when Michael Corleone is knighted as a Knight of Malta. How could that go right over your head, brother?
Damn. I mean, I could say the tapeworms in my belly was making me drink.
Let me tell you about the tapeworms in your belly. Who won the presidency in 1980?
That was Ronald Reagan.
Who was his campaign manager?
Prescott? No, not Prescott. Fuck.
We talked about this.
No, yeah. What? Oh my God.
We talked about that.
Not Prescott.
That Reagan did.
Yeah. Who was it? For sake of making me look like I don't know what the hell I'm talking about.
I think it made him CIA director.
Oh my God. Because Bush became.
And then he had a convenient
The ranch.
right before he was supposed to testify in the wrong country.
Yeah.
Oh my God. Hold on.
I remember that. We talked about this.
No, I was thinking it was the guy that had the ranch where Scalia died. Oh man, my
that's Admiral John Poindexter that you're referring to.
Yes, that was the Illuminati.
You ever heard of William Casey?
William Casey.
Now, Mr. I saw the movie Godfather 3. Let me refresh your memory. Michael Corleone is over in Sicily.
Right.
And while they're hiding over there, the guy who was hiding them gets killed by the twin brothers. While they go to the wake, Michael Corleone says to Andy Garcia, "Who's stopping me?" And he goes, P2, Casey. They tell you that right in the damn movie.
P2, Casey?
Because Casey was a Knight of Malta. P2 stands for propaganda duty. Those are the guys who were robbing all the money at the Vatican Bank. If you remember, Michael Corleone, even though he was corrupt, he goes, An honest pope is a targeted man. It's dangerous to be an honest pope.
And then that was about the Pope that died back in the 70s, 33 days after.
No, not the 70s. What happened was this. Within a 5-year period, you had 3 different popes. One pope died. The second one was too honest, so they killed him, and then they put in the third.
Right. John Paul the First.
And you had all the Vatican bank scandals. That's under propaganda due.
Damn.
P2. Just Google P2 Lodge, Knights of Malta. Guys like Alexander Haig, half of Donald Trump's administration right now.
Damn.
You laughing? I'm serious as a heart attack. Keep laughing. Dude, I'm trying to tell you what's going on. I'm telling you, I'm straight up. So when you watch Godfather 3, you still haven't watched Godfather 3.
No, I haven't.
Your head.
I'm going to watch it again tonight.
The first 5 minutes, he becomes a Knight of Malta. And when a guy in the room tries to tell them how corrupt them, he goes, are you trying to tell me that you know more than the Pope? Because Michael Corleone gave $100 million to the Vatican.
Yes, he did.
Here in L.A., during the 90s, you had Richard Riordan was the mayor, Knights of Malta.
Knights of Malta and the John Birch Society are hand-in-handed. Straight up.
No. Knights of Malta have diplomatic immunity. If I walk into a room and watch the Knights of Malta shoot somebody, I could take him into custody. If I walk in that room after the guy is already dead, I can't touch him. They have diplomatic immunity around the world.
But aren't they just a legacy of this crusade? Keeping the...
Call it whatever you want. The crusades are going on right now. And that's why this pope will watch his ass, because the pope that's watching his ass, he's the first pope in over 200 years that made the head of the Knights of Malta resign. And they are not happy with him.
Because he's a black
all this
pope,
bullshit
though.
propaganda now about him saying there's no hell and stuff, because they want to turn people against him.
Hold
Eric
on.
Prince is a Knights of
Hold
Malta.
on. Say that again. Say that again, what you just
Eric
said.
Prince is the Knights of Malta.
About wanting to turn them against the Pope. The reason why they're bringing out this hell
Bullshit
shit.
propaganda about the Pope claiming there's no hell, because they want to turn people against the Pope, so when they take his ass out, you ain't going to feel sorry for it.
Oh, shit.
The Pope is the one trying to stop this bullshit crusade they're going through. And when he wouldn't go along with them, and the head of the Sovereign Military Order of Malta said, well, we're going to do it, he forced the head of the Malta to resign. That hasn't been done since the 1700s.
Holy shit. Shit.
Oh, I'm sorry, guys. You're all writing this down?
Damn, dude.
I don't make this shit up.
That's not cool at all. Because, my understanding, since he's a black pope, you would think that he would be the bad guy. Not the good
Black
guy.
pope, because you've been told he's a black pope. Stop believing the bullshit. Let me refresh your memory about something. He's a Jesuit pope.
Yes.
Guess what Catholics Hitler killed during World War II?
Not the Jesuit order.
There it is. There was the other Catholic that he had that were all his generals.
Damn, dude. I had it all backwards.
The Jesuits are considered the warrior monks of the Catholic Church.
Right.
And they have never been the Pope. Now, I'm not saying this motherfucker didn't do some shit when he was younger and a bishop and stuff down in Peru and Argentina and stuff. I'm not saying he didn't cover up some shit. I'm just saying don't believe the hype. This motherfucker is trying to slow down the crusades, and they're going to take him out. Because they are pissed.
Because he's
You got
fucking with
guys
the
like
money.
Madison, all these motherfuckers with the John Birch Society who are lieutenants of this. Nobody fucks with the Knights of Malta.
Yeah, you do not. You really don't. That's
why Michael called it. Let me tell you something. Frank Sinatra paid $10 million to the mob to become a Knights of Malta, and all they did was steal his money because the whole thing was a bullshit sham.
Really?
He thought he was getting inducted to Knights of Malta, and these Mafia guys took his money.
That's fucked up, but it's funny, but it's fucked up. So, the Knights of Malta. From what I researched of them, they're still kind of pissed because, what happened in the Holy Land as far as the Muslim incursion after they...
Told you the holy wars have started again, and they're mad at the Pope because he's not letting them go along with their plans. That's why they're moving that goddamn embassy to Jerusalem, because they're going to start the holy wars.
Yes, they are.
They don't like the Jews. They hate the Jews.
But the Jews, they're not the true Semitic Jews. They're the Ashkenazi Jews from Europe. They're not the real Jews.
That, but I'm just telling you that they don't like the Jews. They hate the Jews.
And why? Why? Why is there historical hatred of the Jews by these
White
organizations?
folks believe that they're the original Jews. They're the real Israelites, and everybody else is a beast, including blacks and browns and everybody else.
Gotcha.
And they have this thing called the, you had the Manifest Destiny.
Yes, Magna Carta. Or not the Magna
You had the Manifest Destiny, but what else did you have? Doctrine of Discovery. If you don't know what Doctrine of Discovery is, you guys got a lot of homework.
No, that states that when we go out, we can plant a flag, we discovered it, we take it.
Flag my ass. I'm white. God made me white. Therefore, I can take your fucking land.
Yep. So, like South Africa, what's happening down there?
Fuck South Africa. What the hell you think happened here?
Well, true. True.
They've been doing this shit all over the place.
Yeah, here, Southeast Asia, India, Africa. Oh, jeez, man.
Doing it now.
You ready for the next question?
I just want to make sure the brother got finished with the last one. Because he's the one telling me he saw Godfather 3, so I don't know what movie he watched.
No, I messed up on...
Oh, and here's the best part of that movie. He goes, shit, I ain't the Mafia. These motherfuckers are the real Mafia.
Right.
And he's talking about those old white businessmen back in Europe.
They got all the money.
There you go. And they've been around a lot longer than the United States has been in existence.
Hell yeah.
That's why they don't mess with that old money.
Well, you mess with the old money, you get those old assassins that know their trade.
All right. Well, the next question is from Melvin. He wants to know, do you have any information on the rumors true that North Korea and China's president have been talking behind closed doors and it's about...
Bullshit, I can stop this right now. First of all, there is no North Korea. There's only Korea. And when Trump says he wants to make America great again, I think the brother can already tell you what that translates into. Right. America hasn't been great since General MacArthur was relieved of duty back in the 1950s.
Right.
And the reason the Koreas are going to unite together because they know Trump, especially now that he's putting Bolden in, oh my God, and Pompeo, oh my God, and Miss Little Hitler from CIA, they plan on nuking. By the way, you guys do realize that Bolden has already said many, 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 many times we should just go ahead and do a preemptive nuclear strike on Korea, right?
Yeah. I've been even having feelings that they want to do something crazy like that in the first place.
What MacArthur wanted to do.
Yeah.
And when Truman found out, he relieved MacArthur and replaced him.
Yeah, they've been wanting.
So, as far as the John Birch Society goes, and MacArthur's right-hand man was a founding member of the John Birch Society, America has not been great since the day that MacArthur was relieved. So when you hear Donald Trump says, we're making America great again, they're taking it back to when MacArthur was in, and they're going to finish what MacArthur had planned.
Yeah, I wouldn't be surprised.
As far as China and Korea goes, that's bullshit. China had operatives within the ruling family of Korea. That's why the guy who runs Korea had them killed, including one of his brothers.
Oh, that's
so now China doesn't have that. Now China doesn't have that kind of control or insiders because the brother was hip to who was being loyal to China and double talking to North Koreans, as you guys call it. So he had them eliminated.
Is that why he's in Beijing right now, then? To try to pan that shit out?
Letting them know that the two Koreas realize the United States is a threat. And it's time for them to stop this bullshit about... let me refresh your memory. MacArthur was going to bomb China too.
With nukes.
Do you have any idea why the Trump administration hates China?
No.
What organization do I keep talking about that nobody else will?
John Birch Society.
Guess where he died?
Birch Society.
Where did he die?
Where he died.
Where did he die?
He was never a member of the John Birch Society. They named it after him because they call him the first official victim of communism who was killed in China.
Really? So we're fighting.
It's crazy when you
We
start
should.
on
This ain't your fucking planet, and this ain't your war.
no, let them fight.
But
that
we're
shit.
victims of this
These
war.
white boys have been These white boys have been planning this shit for the last, now going on 60 plus years. It took them a while. They've had some setback. And now everybody's afraid to take Trump out because they take Trump. Who do you get?
Pence! Yes! Pence.
There you go.
The super fucking
And
friends.
if Trump doesn't go along with the program, he'll end up like Robert De Niro did in the movie Machete. And if you watch the movie Machete, you'll notice that practically everything Trump said during his campaign, Robert De Niro said in Machete 5 years ago.
Yes, he did. Welcome to America.
Of course he did, including the wall. And if you notice in that movie, why did they build the wall? Well, why did they want to build the wall in that movie Machete?
I'm assuming
So the drug dealers that are paying off the U.S. politicians, their drugs can come through while everybody else gets stopped.
Yeah.
Wow. What? That's...
Like
Mark! Why? This is hard.
remember when I said that the wall was never built to keep them out?
Keep us in. Keep us in.
No shit, because when the Civil War starts,
You ain't running.
You're going to flee to Mexico when the Civil War starts.
You ain't. And you ain't fleeing up to the north unless you're preparing for the cold.
Well, the Canadians ain't letting you in
You
either.
can come back into this country right now without a goddamn passport.
Yep.
That's... You know, what happened to America that never was? Where everyone was free. Where everything was cool and kosher.
Have you ever seen the movie Not Your Negro?
I was going to look it up. I haven't seen it yet.
I take it that's a yes or a no.
No.
If you ever go to court, just remember this. They ask you a question, just answer yes or no.
That would be
Anything
negative.
else I can use against you.
Yes,
So I'm
sir.
going to rephrase the question. Have you ever seen the movie Not Your Negro?
No.
That movie, of course, James Baldwin. I love that movie because he didn't join the NAACP either. So he knew how much house niggas they were. I refuse to join them too. But my point is this, okay? When you ask your questions, and if you see that movie, Not Your Negro, you will understand. Because in that movie, Robert F. Kennedy runs for president, and James Baldwin goes, "You motherfuckers ain't even been here long. We've been here a lot longer than you have. You already got a white boy running for president." Well, maybe in 50 years, you all will have somebody.
Barack Obama. That's
Now,
what
when
we
did
get.
Robert Kennedy run for president?
What was it, 68? Or so?
Well, he didn't say 50, he says 40. I'm sorry, he says 40 years.
Like
When did
six-
Obama get elected?
He got elected in 2008.
Exactly 40 years, just like Robert Kennedy was telling us. So what I'm trying to tell you is all the stuff you see going on, very little happens in U.S. politics. It's called political science.
Yes, for a reason.
Part of the Great Society was to let the niggers have their little time, and now we're taking it back. That was called the Great Experiment.
Yes.
It's over, guys. Because everybody kept saying, we would never have a brother in the White House. You had your brother. We gave you 8 years. It's over.
Now it's back to
And it
business.
ain't never going to happen again.
Back to business.
There you go.
Back to
I'm
business.
serious.
Well, Fuck.
In fact, a lot of the whites who supported the civil rights movement, they became what you now know as the neocons. Why are they neocons? Because they were Jewish. I don't give a damn if you want to call it ethnicity, religion. They call themselves Jews.
Right.
They were the Jews supporting us, and they couldn't deal with the black militants who got sick and tired of white Jews telling black organizations how to do things. So when Stokely Carmichael and Malcolm X and others came out strong, these guys said, well, fuck the niggers. And the very folks who were helping the blacks turned on the blacks. And since 1965, they've been trying to dismantle the Great Experiment.
Oh, shit.
That's why you got guys like Paul Wolfowitz. Oh, and let me just tell you about Pompeo and oh my God, Pompeo and let's see if I'm sober enough now to remember his name. Bolden. Bolden is Dick Cheney in drag.
Good grief.
I'm serious as a heart attack. Dick Cheney's too old now. Bolden is one of his acolytes.
Damn. So the mission continues.
So when you go back and look at the days of it was Paul Wolfowitz, Donald Rumsfeld, Dick Cheney, and Dick Cheney wouldn't be able to survive now anyway because he's already had like 20 heart attacks.
Yes, he has.
Guys just won't fucking die, right? They sell their souls to the devil. No, they can't sell their souls to the devil. So I'm just telling you, that's who Bolden is. Bolden is Dick Cheney on steroids.
I mean...
And that's why... Oh, listen to me. And that's why if Bolden, Pompeo, and Broomhilda get appointed, you will never hear me do another radio show.
And also that chick, Hassel, that become the CIA... Him and that.
Ted Broomhilda.
Season.
That's who Broomhilda is.
Man, that's...
You ready for the next question?
Hand me a beer, man. You want a beer?
No.
You want a beer?
Yeah, I want a beer, motherfucker.
This one's from Finger Laser Z. What forms of technology does you foresee in the future?
Another vague and ambiguous. First of all, anything you're seeing was already created 20, 30, 40, 50 years ago.
Yep.
As far as technology?
I'll give you a good example. How long has the fax machine been around?
Oh, about, I don't know, 40 or so years. 60s, 50s.
Wrong.
Not longer than that.
Wrong. Now, by the way, I ask this question to cops all the time, and they give me the same answer. So after they tell me 40, 50 years ago, how long has local police departments been sending the fingerprints to the FBI?
Oh, shit. Since the 20s or so.
There you go. They just didn't call it a fax. Once the technology is obsolete, they allow the public to have it.
Yep.
Yep.
So you're saying the cameras that we have in our studio tonight were probably here like 30 years ago.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
If not longer.
The old Mission Impossible TV shows.
Oh,
they
God,
used to
yes.
show you the real microscopic cameras they used to use and shit.
Yes, they did.
Yep.
Anything you got is now can be sold to the public because it's no longer classified.
So that means they got some wicked shit now.
Oh,
This is so
I'll give you a better one.
badass.
When's the first time you ever heard of fiber optics?
Oh, shit. Like back in the 90s. Easily.
Okay, hang on a second. This is so important. I don't want to screw this up, so I'm going to grab a book real quick.
Okay.
Please be patient.
Right. Totally patient with us.
Yeah.
At least we
Trump!
Don't say that too loud. Ain't us ain't listening.
I want to get home tonight, you know. That said, I have no plans on doing any harm to myself.
Dimebag Darling, you know, fucking committed suicide, driving down the road and shit.
No, I
Fucking
ain't gonna get that much police.
these motherfuckers.
Scrape his ass up and send him on to where he need to be and be done. Shit.
It's about 7:30.
It's
No, it's 12 minutes to 8. We over here talking about the time Mark's getting bucks.
Yeah.
I should have got a beer. But
You want a beer?
nah, Yeah.
I mean, might as well have one. Shit, everybody else is drinking.
What did you say?
I don't care about you guys, but to the listeners out there, I apologize. But I wasn't planning on doing this, but since you... All right. When is the first time you ever heard of fiber optics? You said like in the 90s.
Yeah, 90s.
All right, I have a book. It's hard to find. I don't recommend you guys. Well, I'm not saying I don't recommend it, but it'll probably cost you $200, $300, $400.
Oh, shit.
But I have a copy that's signed by the author. The name of the book is called Code Keepers. Code Keepers.
Code Keepers.
The author's name is David Carr. Last name spelled King Adam Henry, K-A-H. Now, David started writing this book in the early 60s, finished it like in 64. And he was already talking about fiber optics.
64.
That makes sense. You see what the...
That don't make sense. This is bullshit.
We
pay for all this fucking technology, and we can't fucking get the shit until after they fucking jizz over it in fucking hard ways, and now, yeah, I can have it. I don't want second fiddle. I want first fucking dibs.
Well, you got to move out of the peasants.
Anything that comes out is classified because we use it for military intelligence.
We get their scraps.
It's an oxymoron, but...
Yeah. Like national defense. What's more vital to our national defense than knowing what the fuck's we doing? You know, having our borders secure and shit. No, fuck all that. You know, we'll just do whatever.
We'll take another question.
Yeah.
All right.
Before the brother has an enema. Pop the enema and chill.
All right, this question.
So I'm going to tell you, let me explain to you what's going on. Where do I always tell you I'm from?
Charlotte, North Carolina.
But you're not here because I was slapped the taste out of your fucking mouth. I am from Charleston,
Oh,
South Carolina.
Oh, yeah. I'm thinking Charlotte.
Charlotte is in North Carolina.
Yes.
I know
You
you
need
guys
to
don't
stop
think it's a
saying
big
that.
deal, but guess what? Have you ever had that woman tell you it's the wrong hole?
Oh.
It's a big deal, okay?
I never had that. I had that problem.
No, I like it when she goes, but it's okay.
Yep. That's the only response I ever get.
I just had plausible denial.
Anyway, as I was saying, I'm from Charleston, South Carolina. Now, what war was going on during the 1960s?
Oh, it's the integrate school thing. You know, the civil rights.
Again, what war was going on during the 1960s?
Vietnam.
And when did the first United States citizen die in Vietnam?
I thought in 57. He was a, whatchamacallit?
The very first U.S. citizen died in Vietnam in 1944.
Shit.
Look, stop. Just remember something. I don't expect you to know this because most folks will never know this.
Right.
His name was Colonel Dewey, U.S. Army, D-E-W-E-Y, OSS boy. Who were most of my mentors?
OSS. Ex-Nazis.
And former World War II Nazis and Office of Naval Intelligence.
Oni.
Dewey got killed because he was speaking French. You know who taught me French?
Who?
Aristocratic Vietnamese that were brought to this country.
Well, that makes sense.
You ready for the next
He was
one?
going to a checkpoint in the Jeep with a driver. Got to the checkpoint like an idiot. He spoke French instead of speaking English. And they shot and killed him because the Vietnamese hate whom?
The French for fucking them up for so many years.
There you go. So let me just tell you a little brief history here. During World War II, going back to your question about Korea, by the way, there was no North or South Vietnam. There's only a Vietnam.
Right.
Ho Chi Minh wanted what? One Vietnam. What does he have today? You know, he's dead. What does he have today?
One Vietnam.
We call it Saigon. Today it's called Ho Chi Minh City. So let's go back to Korea. What does Korea want?
One Korea.
There you go. So, during the World War II, Japanese pilots would shoot down U.S. and Allied pilots. Ho Chi Minh would send his guys out in the water, risking their lives to save American pilots, Allied pilots. At the end of the war, Ho Chi Minh thought they were going to do what?
Give him his props. Give him some sort of payback.
allow him to have one Vietnam. Now, before the war, guess who occupied that area?
Ooh,
Guys
yeah.
like, you know, Russia and all that, Japan.
Yes.
Now, the French occupied them immediately before World War II. The French got their ass kicked during World War II.
Right.
You know, we had the Vichy, Nazis, and all that stuff.
Yes.
So at the end of World War II, the French were not strong enough to go back and occupy Vietnam. And unlike what Ho Chi Minh was hoping at the Geneva Conventions, which were held in France, they said, fuck you, we ain't giving you shit.
Mm.
The United States went to war against what three major countries during World War II?
Russia, or not Russia, but Germany, Italy, and Japan.
Mm-hmm. The French were not capable of occupying Vietnam at the end of World War II. The United States provided weapons to Japan, and Japanese soldiers occupied Vietnam until the French were strong enough to come back and take over Vietnam.
Yeah, we're their helpers. They're fucking helpers.
1954, the French says, okay, Japan, thanks a lot, we can handle this now. The French came back in, occupied Vietnam, and the Vietnamese whooped their ass. So if you're bored sometimes, look at what's called Dien Bien Phu. D-I-E-N, B as in boy, I-E-N, P-H-U, Dien Bien Phu. The French suffered such a major ass whooping at Dien Bien Phu, that's when they called in the United States to help.
Mm.
We first sent in special forces,
Right.
and they were doing things over there from 1954 up until 1962. During that time period, Eisenhower, who everybody was talking about how he's like, but he was such a great guy. Eisenhower was an asshole. But Eisenhower was smart. Instead of using U.S. conventional forces, guess who he would use to overthrow countries?
CIA?
There you go. Dude, you guys are sharp. You're starting to scare me. I'm going to put you on the fucking contract list to be eliminated. So anyway, so like in places like in Iran, 1954, I take him out. Go down to Guatemala, I take him out. Well, we have a saying, you know, the Marines are too noisy, can't use them, send in the gentlemen of CIA. So anyway, so what happens is, OSS boys were over in Vietnam, like Dewey. OSS is the ones who created special forces, primarily out of Fort Bragg, North Carolina. Today it's named after Kennedy, John F. Kennedy. So all this bullshit you guys hearing about him, he supported that crap as long as it was a covert war over there. He just didn't want to get us into a full-scale war.
Mm-hmm.
When Johnson came in after Kennedy was assassinated, they had this bullshit Gulf of Tonkin, which is basically special forces been fucking with the damn Vietnamese forever. Vietnamese got tired of it, sent some patrol boats out, and they lied and claimed that the patrol boats attacked some U.S. naval vessels like the USS Maddox. Johnson used that to justify going in as a full-scale war. Because Kennedy wouldn't give them the full-scale war they wanted. To see what happened was when Nixon was president, and I'm not being like a drunk here, Eisenhower was busy screwing his cousin. Nixon was actually running the White House. Nixon thought he was going to get elected in 1960, but since the mob helped Joseph Kennedy steal the election for John, Kennedy got in, Nixon didn't get in, so all the promises that Nixon had made prior, now they had to go back and try to tell Kennedy, by the way, we promised the Cubans down there that we were going to help them. That's how Kennedy got stuck with the Bay of Pigs. We promised the Vietnamese we were going to help them. And that's how we got stuck with Vietnam. In fact, there were some assassinations going on where they took out certain leaders down in South Vietnam, the Vietnamese too. So I'm just saying, what happened was, our very first U.S. casualty was Colonel Dewey. I'm one of the few guys who writes about him. I'm one of the few guys who has photographs of him. But I'm one of the few guys who know what I'm telling you. So anyway, We've been in Vietnam since the 40s. We helped the Japanese occupy Vietnam until the French got strong enough to come back. The French came back at their ass kicked. The U.S. went in instead because in France, they need Vietnam for what?
For rubber.
For slaves.
Michelin Tire Company.
Rubber. They need those rubber fucking
But what was
trees.
the number one reason why they needed it?
Don't know why. The number one. I thought
Have you ever heard of Popeye Doyle?
The who?
Popeye Doyle.
Gene Hackman was a former Marine. He was an actor. Gene Hackman played the character Popeye Doyle in the movie The French Connection.
Oh, yes.
So I'm going to ask you again, what was the number one reason why France needed Vietnam? By the way, when I talk to real old guys from Laos, Cambodia, Vietnam, I don't speak their language, but I have no problem speaking to them. Why is that?
You understand where they're coming from?
Because they all speak French.
Oh.
They hate the French because that was called French Indochina. France needed Vietnam because of the opium.
Yeah. Giving them people hooked.
That's what the movie The French Connection is all about. So you got rubber and you got opium. The U.S. came in, helped the French out after the war, and the rest is history.
I mean, but this is sad history. Because we're talking about the history of illicit drug use on this population to fucking put our...
Please, spare me the bullshit, virgin. I did a radio show with Carl Nelson back in 2001, and that was my last radio show with him because I know G.W. Bush. Daddy Bush and I were close. I never really talked to G.W., but I'll tell you this much, because I don't care right now. Hang on. Let me take another step. I'll tell you this. I quit LAPD in 2008 because I wouldn't lie for them after a major shooting. Barack Hussein Obama got elected right after I told LAPD I was out of there. I was never a cop under Barack Obama, and I didn't want anything from Barack Obama, so I sent a letter to G.W. Bush saying, hey, Daddy and I go way back. And Barack is the new president. I don't want anything with Barack's name on it. So I want you to make sure that the White House sends me everything from the White House, thanking me for my retirement from LAPD. Don't send it to LAPD because I can't stand those bastards. Send it directly to my post office box. And the White House took care of it.
Wow.
You ready for the
I
next
have nothing
question?
with Obama's name on it. I have everything with G.W. Bush's name on it because when he found out that Daddy and I were, yeah. So I'm just telling you, once again, what you had going on in Vietnam was heroin and rubber. In fact, in Vietnam they had free fire zones, restricted fire zones, and no fire zones. You had white folks from France playing tennis on their tennis courts and watching the war down below, knowing that nobody's going to shoot into their little rubber plantation.
That's fucked up.
No, that's dude. Wake up. That's reality. It's their world, dog.
Yeah, we just moving around.
Yeah, we are. Like
Why do you think I get along so much better with my French servers than I do with U.S. servers? Because you guys don't have a clue.
No, because we've been purposefully dumbed down.
Oh, Champs-Élysées, au soleil, sous la pluie. I'm sorry. Anyway, we lost 58,000 folks in Vietnam fighting for a bullshit war because, once again, just like you talk that crap about Korea and China,
right?
There are folks in this country who didn't bother talking to Vietnam, and they thought that China was trying to take over Korea. I'm sorry, take over Vietnam. The Vietnamese hate the Chinese.
Why do they hate the
I'm just
Chinese?
going to tell you this. Hey, I'm giving you a scoop. Today is March 30th, 2008.
Year our Lord.
My prediction... 2018, I'm sorry.
Still year
My
our Lord.
prediction is Donald Trump will not meet with the leader of actually so-called North Korea.
Kim Jong-il?
Yeah, they're supposed to be meeting.
Because if he meets, then we may not have a war.
Oh, God.
I'm just telling you. So what's going to probably happen in the near future, somebody's going to set something up to make it look like a reason why Trump cannot meet with him.
But don't we kind of, as, a family of human beings don't want this war to necessarily pop off?
What part of it did you not understand? They are taking us back to when MacArthur got relieved of duty, right before MacArthur was going to drop a nuke on China and Korea.
Was it?
And now that he put Bolden in place and Pompeo,
just back on
this
again.
show today, because I'm telling you, once those three folks, along with Broomhilda, I will not be doing any more radio shows, no matter how drunk you guys get me.
So, you ready for the next question?
Hit him.
Well, before I go, I just remind you, I just told you if I was a betting man, that meeting with Donald Trump and the leader of
North Korea,
as they call it, will not go off. But I have a question for you before we have another question.
Mm-hmm.
Who do you think I want?
I think you really want this war to pop off because we can't get along. So let's get it on.
Who do you think I want?
Oh, to shut you up?
What woman do you think I want?
Oh, what's her face?
Don't be talking about Tandy Newton and Rosario Dawson. I'm not talking about that.
Okay. We always mention those.
Yeah.
Them.
Who do you want?
What country have we just been talking about?
Korea or Vietnam?
Let's talk about
Korea. So I'm going to ask you again, what woman do I want?
I don't know any chicks from Korea.
No, I don't
We
know.
went to the Olympics.
Was it this year?
Had to be this year.
The leader of so-called North Korea.
Oh, his sister?
His sister is hot.
Oh,
What's
he wants
her name?
Kim Jong-il's sister. I don't know her name.
Chung Chung.
See, I didn't even know he had a sister until he sent her down there to do some business. I guess they
You
just keep
guys
in the
didn't
closet.
know. Let me just tell you, you need to do some research because while people are talking crap, that woman is ruthless.
Oh, I'm pretty
she
sure
knows
she
where
is.
the bones are. Hey, and she knows where the bones are buried. And guess what? You ain't gonna get in her pants and get no secrets. Next question.
This one's from Kuta Kinte. What is
Toby? His name's Toby.
what is going on with the weapons being stolen from the vault in Compton?
Smart ass.
Huh?
Smart ass.
Smart.
All right, I gotta be careful. With this one. Go back and watch the movie Lethal Weapon 3 with Rene Russo. In that movie, you will see, by the way, all 4 Lethal Weapon movies are based on true stories. Just to give you an idea. In Lethal Weapon 2, they talk about the Cougarons.
Mm-hmm.
When that movie came out, there was a trial going on in Chicago, and the jury had to be sequestered so they wouldn't see that because it was so close to reality. I'm not making this up. Every one of those movies, I could tell you. And when they made Lethal Weapon 4, my favorite Chinese restaurant in Chinatown in L.A. mysteriously burned to the ground, which is where they filmed much of that movie. Because I guess they showed some stuff in that movie with Jet Li they didn't want the average American to see. And the triad, why do you guys talk about the Sicilian mob, the Jewish mob, the Irish mob, Knights of Malta? Please. The triad from China has been around centuries longer. And they are ruthless. I don't fuck with the triad. Hey, I don't fuck with the triad. So anyway, in Compton, half the police department was taken over by the sheriffs. Eventually, the entire police department was taken over by the sheriffs. You had guys who used to work for Compton Police Department whose guns were, after they left the police department, were put into a vault in the old city hall. And now it turns out all those guns just happen to be missing.
Oh, shit. Oh, shit.
By the way, if you don't know this, last week, 2 cops from Gardena. I know Patrick knows where that is. He used to be a whore in California, but he knows where Gardena is. So anyway, 2 cops from Gardena just got busted. Both got 17 years on the job. They both got busted for selling guns to people they don't have permission to sell guns to. So what I'm telling you is lots of guns out there on the street. Guess who's providing those guns to the community?
The cops. Mm-hmm.
Dirty cops. And if you look at the movie Lethal Weapon 3, you will see black gang members. And what got Rene Russo and Mel Gibson in trouble? They started poking their nose and going, wait a minute. This gun was confiscated by LAPD a few years ago. How the hell did this gun get back on the street?
Right.
There you go.
If you also go back and watch that movie, you want to know what you see? A huge poster in the lobby of this fake LAPD station. And guess who they badmouth in that movie?
Who?
The NRA.
Fuck.
That movie came out in the 90s, and that movie was telling you the same shit that you're hearing now. As long as the NRA is around, innocent children in school are going to get killed. So you go back and watch Lethal Weapon 3. One, it talks about police inventories being robbed by cops on the inside and providing guns on the street. But 2, in the lobby of a police station, it shows you how Lethal Weapon 3 was already warning you how dirty the NRA are. So for you folks who don't believe me, just Google Lethal Weapon number 3 versus NRA and see what you come up with. And that was 20 years ago.
I mean, it's just...
Nothing changes.
It's so crazy just how... You know, you're talking 20, 30.
Yeah, Rene Russo was one of those women who I never found attractive, but I just wanted to help shave her legs one night.
Oh, my God. I don't know what's...
You know what sucks? I'm going to tell you guys something. Believe it or not, you know who's listening to this show right now?
Who?
A whole lot of folks. You have no idea. Because I have people from Hollywood and everybody else going, damn, when are you going to do another show on the other morning show? And guess when I told them?
When?
A half hour before the show started. So they would have no warning. So they're going to be pissed, but they're going to do like they always do. They're going to have to go back and watch your video of you guys getting blazed and stuff while I'm sitting here all by myself. I touch myself. I want you to love me. I don't want anybody else. When I think about you, I touch myself. So while I'm over here by myself and you guys are on film, those folks are going to have to go back now and research your videos and stuff because the brother didn't do nothing to promote this show today. Because had he sent me a photograph or a poster or announcing my husband that be on the show, I would have told everybody. But, you know, look how it is. So this is what you get. Now, this is what you get for replacing me with some confused white girl who thinks she was transracial, and that bitch didn't even show up for the goddamn show.
Did you tell him that we already had that stuff scheduled?
I told him, man.
Bullshit. You had me scheduled. I sent him a message. I go, hey, brother, am I still coming on? Sorry, brother. No, you know, the white girl comes first, man. We got to go. Yeah, come on out.
No, all jokes aside, like you were scheduled for the 30th.
Oh, shit.
You were scheduled for the 30th.
Notice how he's just laughing, but he ain't saying nothing?
I can't. In all fairness, man, alcohol's one hell of a drug. You know, when you're scheduling shit and...
Why you
Are you ready, listeners? Here's the one for you, listeners. They canceled me for some confused white girl who says she's a transracial.
Oh,
he did not even show up.
He go.
He's just for the whole world to see our shame, dude.
Oh.
Look, you know, there was a mishap.
No.
It's all good because my surfer lost today, and I'm in a bad mood every time she loses because she is the most incredible surfer on the planet. And if she ever realized how good she really was, she'd be unstoppable. But since I can't travel with her because I'm afraid of not being able to get back in this country,
Right.
I have to try to coach her and mentor her from afar.
Well,
She
maybe,
has no idea how incredible she is, and every time she loses, I end up on your goddamn show.
well, maybe we should schedule this stuff around no competitions, no misguided people, or so we all know before
We
before
start.
we cut everything
No,
goes
brother,
dark.
hey, dog, it's too late now. Cause we gotta start content every week. You know, no.
No, I'm just
Listen to
teasing
me on
you,
a serious
man.
note. Listen to me on a serious note, and for you listeners out there, listen to me on a serious note. I've always dreaded what was going to happen with Trump in the White House.
Mm-hmm.
Back in 2016, before the election, because I didn't know who was going to win, because I kept saying, I always tell folks who's going to win, this election is so messed up, there's something wrong. So I made no prediction. But what I did say, regardless of whether Clinton was in the White House or Trump in the White House, we're going to have problems.
Mm-hmm.
Because while you folks sit here and look at things locally, I mentor and coach female servants from around the world. Yesterday, over in Spain, Catalonia, they made an official announcement. One of the biggest offshore yacht races has been canceled. Why? They can't ensure the security, and because they can't ensure the security, private investors are not going to give up their money. Cancel. Why am I telling you this? For the first time ever, the Olympics is supposed to have the surfing in 2020.
Yep.
With Trump in the White House, if you all don't know this, the first day Trump got in the White House, you know what he did?
What?
He fired every ambassador from the U.S.
Every
We
ambassador.
still don't have countries. We still don't have countries represented by the U.S. Many countries. Because of all the stupid crap Trump tweets out, it's putting our international athletes at risk. And just like in Catalonia, that's having a civil war right now, just like the civil war particularly in this country, because the fascists over there are doing the same thing in that country they're doing here and are trying to do. By the way, I predicted that Brexit wouldn't go through, but they tried.
Yeah.
They tried. So the same folks who were trying to do Brexit are not trying to give us our civil war here. And that's why they're going to go with this census question. But civil wars are going on in all countries around the world right now. It's not just confined to the U.S.
Wow.
And it was sad to see this offshore race in Catalonia canceled. I would not be surprised if the 2020 Olympics are canceled for safety reasons. If we're not already in a World War III by then.
Then we don't got to worry about the games anyway.
No, I didn't think we really were.
Dude, we're headed for World War III. Trust me, we are headed. Because now, what did Russia just do yesterday?
They kicked out some of our diplomats, right?
I thought they did it.
Now, since you mentioned China, what did China say they're going to do?
Try to kick out more of our diplomats.
Forget that. Tariff war.
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. Oh,
Yeah,
yeah.
that's gonna get real when you
Tariff
go to that
wars.
local Walmart.
Tariff wars always lead to military war.
Yes, sir. Because when you go to that Walmart and you want to get that little candy bar or a little screwdriver for $1 and you got to pay $10, oh, hell no.
What pisses me off about all this? There was a time when I spoke 7 languages. But the 2 languages I never bothered learning was Mandarin and Cantonese.
Right. Chinese languages.
What's a lot of?
Well, Rosetta Stone's out there. You can still learn.
No, God.
Oh, gee, go, y'all.
So we have another question, sir?
Yes, we do. This is from.
Well, that's a good thing because we started late.
Yeah, we did.
It was supposed to be 1600, but we didn't start till like 1627, and now we're going on 1820. But go ahead, sir.
This one's from Bang Marley.
Bang Marley.
Bang Marley sent this in.
Sounds like one of my Vietnamese girlfriends. I'm sorry.
What's with the synthetic drug wave?
I'm sorry?
His question is, or their question is, what's with the synthetic drug wave?
Well, that's another ambiguous question, but I'll have to say this. I was a technical advisor for, like you mentioned earlier, several successful movies in Hollywood.
Mm-hmm.
One of the movies I would recommend as a technical advisor for was Deep Cover. That's with
I remember that one.
Jeff Goldblum and some guy you may have heard of. He used to call himself Larry Fishburne, but now he calls himself Lawrence Fishburne.
Yes.
And in that movie, they already show you how they had to come up with a synthetic cocaine.
Yes.
That would flood the market.
It was undetectable.
Yep.
And what I would just say, the greatest line in that movie, I thought I was an undercover cop pretending to be a drug dealer. I'm nothing but a fucking drug dealer pretending to be an undercover cop.
Right. That's crazy.
You know what made me proud though? What movie came out 2 years ago that actually mentioned Deep Cover? Well, I shouldn't say 2 years ago. Within the last 2 years that mentioned Deep Cover.
I don't know. What?
Straight Outta Compton!
Oh.
In that movie, Straight Outta Compton, they actually mentioned Deep Cover.
Now, I never did see that movie because...
And I will say this, I've helped several Hollywood movies, but I have to give credit to Jeff Goldblum and Larry Fishburne because I helped Jeff Goldblum's wife a week earlier for Thelma and Louise. Jeff Goldblum and Larry Fishburne gave me credit. So if you ever to go on IMDb, they actually gave me credit for that movie because most of the other folks, they don't give me credit for anything, but I don't care. I didn't do it for money and I don't charge them. I did it for free because I don't let nobody own me. I don't take no money. This is my surfers. I do it for free so they can't tell me what to say or do because I don't get no pay from them.
Exactly. Or us.
Exactly. In fact, I'm paying for some of my girls to come here because they get no money. So anyway, but I will say in that movie, Deep Cover, it's a dated movie. It's an old movie, but if you go back and watch that movie, the same shit is still going on.
Mm-hmm.
You know,
and
Mark.
Guys like Michael Rupert. You guys ever heard of Michael Rupert?
No, I can't say I have. Who is he?
All right.
Okay.
Hang on, let me write this down because I don't have to remember tomorrow what I said to you guys. Deep Cover. All right. There were 3 guys on LAPD, all named Michael. All got fucked over, all got run out. One's name was Michael Rupert. One was named Michael Rothmiller. And the other one was named Michael Parler. Michael Rupert was the one who went to a high school in Watts. Actually, it's not Watts. It's on the border of Watts. Locke High School. And said to the CIA director...
Oh, yeah. Got his ass fired. Why are you bringing this?
Let's start this one over. We never use the word "the" in front of CIA. Mike Rupert was a guy who went down to Locke High School on the border of Watts, confronted CIA director, and said, I know you guys are bringing the drugs into South Central. That CIA director was supposed to resign a week later. By the way, Mike Rupert was found dead on his boat, allegedly committing suicide 2 years ago.
Oh, shit. No shit, man. These people don't have a long memory, dude. They have a long memory.
He used to do radio shows with George Norrie and a whole bunch of other folks. So it's like Mike Rothmiller. That's Michael Rupert. Mike Rothmiller is a guy who used to work OCID. Yeah, Organized Crime Intelligence Division for LAPD. He wrote a book right before the O.J. Simpson trial. And because of that book, Willie Williams, when he took over LAPD, he shut down OCID. But there's a book called L.A. Secret Police by Mike Rothmiller. And there was some other guy named Mike Parlow. We don't know about him. So I'll just say this. The funny thing is all three of those guys had very similar backgrounds. They all got run out of LAPD. One's dead, two's still alive, but two of them still watch their back. Yeah.
So is there like an organization?
Wait a minute. How do we get into that? Anyway, so if you go back and watch, there was a movie and a book. San Jose Mercury News. And there was a movie that came out about this guy from San Jose Mercury News who talked about bringing the drugs. And, oh, by the way, because you know we had that one guy, Ricky Ross, right?
Yes.
You know there's Ricky Ross, and then there's Ricky Ross, right?
Yeah, the rapper. Fact.
Okay, do you know what I mean when I say there's Ricky Ross and Ricky Ross?
Right. They're not the same people. One's a poser, the other one's the real guy that drove up 95 there and delivered cocaine.
The fuck you talking about? But okay. So anyway, Ricky Ross, who's the real Ricky Ross, he can't even use his real name because the phony Ricky Ross, who's the house nigga for the white, has stolen his name.
Right.
And he's a rapper.
Right.
Meanwhile, there's the other Ricky Ross, who's a conduit, bringing the drugs in. So you guys have to see the movie American Made, which is the reason why Weinstein has been taken down. And,
wait, the movie American Made is the reason for Me Too? Is the reason why Harvey Weinstein was shown to be the sexual predator he is because of one movie?
Wake the fuck up, dog. American Made shows you bringing the drugs into this country and shows you the connection to the John Birch Society. Not just Donald Trump's Ollie North connection, but also Hillary Clinton.
Oh, shit.
And that's why Kevin Spacey was taken down. Kevin Spacey, he's in
House of Cards.
And in that show, it shows you the Bohemian Grove.
Elysium
and it shows you everything.
Yes, it does. It really does.
It really does.
Yeah, I mean, you look through all 5 seasons, you'll see the progression of it all.
Yeah. You ready for the next question?
And I will have to say this. I was shocked as hell when somebody actually acknowledged that she is following what I write on Facebook.
Okay.
Who?
She plays Kevin Spacey's wife on House of Cards.
No way. Claire Underwood? Or that's her stage name.
That's not a real name.
Yeah. Wow.
What's wild? What sucks is, who knows? She might be listening right now. Oh, I know her friends are listening, so let's tell her, dude, when she played in Forrest Gump, I would have drunk her bathwater.
Who did she play?
Jenny.
That was Jenny? Oh, shit. I did not know.
Yeah. Why do you think Forrest is all wigged out about it?
I'm trying to tell you, you have no idea who's listening to this show tonight, and worse, who's going to find out I was on this show tonight, and they're going to track this down. Because, dude, I'm starting to read shit in the news.
That we be talking about.
Hollywood movies, and all they do is steal my shit. They don't give me credit for it, because Hollywood has lost all function of originality.
Yes, they have.
So what they do is they follow me, they read my shit, they steal it, they do research, then they go out and write a movie script or a TV script or a news story and go out and do their thing. And I don't care, because at least the people out there will be informed.
Right.
But yeah.
I mean, I can't thank you enough for all the pro bono.
I've got a lot of folks within Hollywood who, they don't communicate with me directly, but because I'm the administrator for all my Facebook sites, Facebook tells me who's following me and who's monitoring my shit. Yeah.
All right.
I mean, I troll her Facebook.
And I have to say this: she was married to Sean Penn.
But he's a nut
Sean
job.
Penn was in a movie. I'm sorry?
Sean Penn's a nut job. He's a crazy fuck.
Just relax and listen.
Okay.
She was married to Sean Penn, and even though I'm not a Sean Penn fan, one movie I would recommend you see: Falcon and the Snowman.
Falcon and the Snowman.
I know you guys never heard of it because that's how I roll. Falcon and the Snowman. You guys have no idea what's going on. And the second movie,
Yeah.
there was a movie that came out after Cheney and Rumsfeld and everybody else lied about the yellow cake uranium in Iraq
Yes.
to justify us going in to bomb the hell out of Iraq. Do you know what that movie is?
No, what?
I want to say the Hurt Season, but I'm not sure.
Hurt Season.
What was that?
Hurt Season?
No, and it wasn't Hurt Season, it was Hurt Locker. But no, that's
Yeah, that's what it was. Hurt Locker,
Okay.
yeah. I seen that movie, man. I seen that movie. It was crazy.
That's not the movie.
It's not?
Sean Penn plays the husband of a woman named Valerie Plame. You guys had homework.
No.
Valerie Plame.
Right.
I'm
Okay.
sorry?
Nothing. You ready for the next question?
The next question.
This one's from Caitlin Jenkins.
Ooh, that sounds like one of the what? Sorry, never go ahead.
Is it possible to get these sadistic, tyrannical, that other word she blocked out of her without mass violence, because we know they all have the firepower and the deceptiveness?
I'm sorry, brother. Go back again. That was by Caitlin whom?
Jenkins.
And she's asking what?
She's asking, is it possible to get these sadistic, tyrannical, I guess she was trying to say, fucks, or you fill in the blanks, basically, out of her without mass violence, because we know they have all the firepower and the deceptiveness.
Hey, Caitlin, probably one of my exes. There's a God.
Yes.
I was talking to some folks the other day, and it was funny. I was in my dentist's office. God, she's hot. Thank God she's married. Anyway, so I was talking to my dentist one day, and she goes, "So, do you really believe there's a Jesus?" I'm like, "Let me tell you a little story. I know there's a God." I've done some stupid things where I've been shown there's a God. And what I would just say to you is this, Caitlin. Lucifer is having a good time. Lucifer is not going to be the ultimate champion. You have folks right now calling themselves Christians who are anything but. Now, this month in April 2018, find a copy of the Atlantic magazine. I've been telling folks for years. The John Birch Society, the evangelicals, the greatest accomplishment of Lucifer was convincing enough atheists he doesn't exist. The greatest accomplishment of the John Birch Society, with the help of the evangelicals, is convincing U.S. Armed Forces personnel and law enforcement personnel that they're patriotic.
Yes.
And that they're Christians.
Yes.
They are neither Christians and they are neither patriotic.
Right. They wanted to destroy the Republic.
Everything I've been warning folks about for the last 15 years, and this is before I even knew that Donald Trump was going to run, and for those who wouldn't know this, Patrick talked earlier about me being a member of International Who's Who. I would not even be a member of International Who's Who if it hadn't been for Ivana Trump.
Right.
Love you, Ivana. I gave Donald a pass because she was married to him, but there's some things I won't say. But during their marriage, he was an anal whore. Now that they're not married anymore, I don't give him a pass. And I'll just say that when it comes to what's going on right now,
Mm-hmm.
and you look at all the plans these folks have been laying down within the John Birch Society, they call themselves Christians. In Atlantic Magazine, this brother, well, I don't even know if he's a brother, but I guess he's a brother in love. Atlantic Magazine confirms everything I've been trying to warn you folks about for the last 20. Now, once again, guess what group he does not does not even mention or recognize?
John Birch Society.
But what he does do is recognize the Catholic Church and the evangelicals, and how, in spite of the fact that Trump is anything but a Christian, the evangelicals got hooked.
Right.
So let me just spell this out for you folks. Back in the 70s, when Jimmy Carter was president, James Earl Carter, the evangelicals, Catholics, far right-wing Catholics, the kind of folks who would support Barry Goldwater, they got together and formed a lobbyist group, several lobbyist groups. And then they got in bed with what I call the Mafia, the kosher Mafia.
Jewish.
They pretend that they love the Jews, but they don't. They want to kill the Jews. These are the same folks that were in bed with Hitler. But anyway, so you got the John Birch Society in bed with the evangelicals and the Pentecostals, by the way. And they started creating lobbyist groups that say, Israel is our greatest ally. So anybody who says anything negative about Israel, you're an anti-Semitic.
Yes, sir.
Never mind the fact that most people in Israel are not Semites except for the Palestinians because they were born there.
Yes.
Most of the so-called Israeli Jews are from Europe and the United States and elsewhere. But that's another day for another story. So what I'm just telling you is this. Find April 2008 Atlantic Magazine. It's a cover story. Everything I've been trying to tell folks for the last 20 years, what was going on, has now been confirmed in an article in the April cover story of Atlantic Magazine. And you folks will clearly see what's going on with the evangelicals, even though not mentioned by name, the John Birch Society and the Catholic Church, and how they're in bed with Donald Trump because they believe that God intended him to be president to carry out their agenda.
Yep.
Also, I gotta be careful how I say this. There will be some gnashing of the teeth. You're gonna see folks now, like from Fox News, who are gonna betray Fox News. CNS, another right-wing folks who now realize that they've been betrayed. They're going to betray CNS. There's a major war going on right now within the intelligence community. I'm not a fan of Hillary, but I will say that folks realize what was going on in Donald Trump's camp, that 40 high-ranking intelligence personnel within the Republican Party publicly endorsed Hillary Clinton. There's a major purging going on within the intelligence community. So that's why if you listen very carefully, who was just fired from the State Department?
Who was that? What's his face? Oh my God! Not Tillman?
What's that name?
Soon we forget. Rex Tillerson.
Yes, Tillerson.
If you listen to any of his speeches, not once do you hear him say, I was very proud to serve within the Trump campaign. More importantly, because you know me, I was trained. If you listen carefully, he tells folks there to keep the good fight going. In other words,
keep John Burst alive.
They're not in bed with the Trump campaign. They're not in bed with the phony crusades that are coming back. And they need to try to keep a low profile while working within the State Department to stop the agenda of the John Birch Society and the folks that are manipulating Donald Trump.
You know, so Trump...
Wait, brother, listen to me. While I'm talking to you right now, you would not believe after the last 2 minutes, my phone's going haywire. But I'm sorry, go ahead.
So Trump himself is just basically he's not in on the no, you think? Or you think he's in on the no?
Donald Trump never thought he would win. Melania she's devastated that he won because, I mean, come on. If Obama's wife had naked photographs on the internet, would he have ever been president?
No, sir.
No.
And Melania never thought that Donald Trump was going to be president. She did not want to be under the microscope. But see, while folks are talking all this crap about Stormy Daniels and other folks, let me tell you the one thing that nobody's talking about. What did Stormy Daniels say? Donald Trump and his wife sleep in separate bedrooms.
Oh, shit, yeah.
No, I would not be surprised about that.
Well, that shows you there's no love or compassion there.
For me, dog. Let's say, because hang on, let me take another drink. Let me get drunk enough to tell you this. I was told from day one that Melania is a FSB asset, so that whole wedding thing is arranged anyway. So.
What's SSB?
Oh, God. You ever heard of the KGB?
Yes.
That was Soviet Union. They were replaced when Russia became independent, and then FSB.
Oh, shit. Our first lady, first spook.
Oh, let's see here. What time do you have?
It is 8:41.
Bye!
No! Oh, no! No! Why did I say 7:41?
Why you do that?
No!
I knew he's going to do that too.
No!
And
Dude.
there you have it, folks. The man himself, Mark From Anaheim. Oh, he's a little surprised.
I'm still, I'll have a naive moment here. But, you know, we're right there.
Yep.
We're right there. Right there.
Well, folks, I hope you enjoyed
our show. I mean, it wasn't a full 3 hours.
No.
You know, I mean, it was close. I mean, I guess we could ran them off for 15 minutes, but, you know, he wants to do all of that. But, you know, my whole thing that I came away with, you know, was seeing just how deep this thing really goes. I be
trying to get the questions in and everybody saying thing. I be trying, but Mark
I know
be talking and
well, because he has to finish his thought. You know, we got to finish the thought.
If I cut him off, then I'll get a comment.
Yeah, why you cut him off? Shut the fuck up and let him talk.
Yeah. Next is going to be, how about you just get him on? You
guys just disappear. Just go out. You know, let the fucking computers do their thing.
But I just want to say thanks to everybody that watched the show.
Yes.
Appreciate it.
All the support. You know, thank you for sending the donations. P.O. Box 133, DeSoto, Missouri 6320.
Yep. And patreon.com/DimebagTV.
Oh, yeah. 630020.
63020.
Yeah, 63020.
Yeah.
And, my bad.
No, you're good, man. It's Friday.
And this is listen, folks. We have all had a shitty ass killer week. Is one of the two, actually. And the thing about it, we come together on Friday nights to disseminate all this information we learned. I got some good stuff I want to talk about. Special report. I got basically a gentleman named Jimmy. He'll be coming on Special Report. We'll be doing paranormal discussions, talking about things that go spook in the night. You know, he's very well versed. I already checked out a lot of his stuff, a lot of his postings. We're going to have some other folks coming on, hopefully, and I'm going to drop the fucking H-bomb. Hopefully, Judge Joe Brown will be on this show very, very soon. Judge Joe Brown, folks. We're going to get some old school wisdom from this brother. And, you know, we did have a mishap last week. You know, I guess, you know, couldn't make it.
It wasn't
We're
not
not
my
holding
fault.
against them or not.
But Mark knows we had him booked for the 30th. He knows this.
Well, I can't.
But
You know, look, when I'm over here mad, hacking it at the computer, all kinds of stuff happens. We get caught up in the moment, or should I say
Right.
get caught up in the moment. I'm like, yeah, I'll book you for the 12th. I already have 4 people booked.
we're trying to get professional, but it's a work in
It
progress.
is a work in progress. You know, look, you guys come to this show for this authenticity, for its, you know, the feeling you get from watching this show, because we really do believe in what the fuck we're talking about here. Even if we do, you know.
Yeah, man, I wouldn't even be doing it if I didn't believe it.
Oh. Yeah, fuck no. I mean, shit, we have better things to do on Friday night.
Yeah.
You know, I got a whole house full, a beautiful wife. I got shit I could be doing
I can go be chasing tail,
that you could be doing.
but
We choose to be here because, you know, honestly, after we're all wormy, literally, after everybody you see or might have seen through the curtain here is dead.
somebody coming out like the realness that comes from the show.
Yeah, it is realness, man. It's all about being real because I believe this 100%. Where I'm talking to Mark from
Happy
Anaheim,
Friday.
John Lear,
The people in the chat.
Jane Elliott, whoever. You know, I
Randy
want this world to be
Butternuts.
better.
Twisted Monkey.
Twisted Bucky.
Yeah, somebody named Twisted Monkey. Appreciate everybody. That's a Joshua Bennett.
There you go. Give some shouts out.
Band Fitted Business. Hope I got that right. Judy. Good looking honky.
Good looking honky.
Yeah. Man Christian. Arius Queen.
Hey.
Frank White 30 seconds.
Yes, Frank White, I know you, bro. You always be commenting. Thank you, bro.
Cricket Guy and Steve Jenkins.
Hey, thank you guys for watching.
Sorry we couldn't get everybody's questions in, but we'll probably have Mark on.
Oh, well, there ain't no problem. I
Yeah.
mean, hopefully before all the shit happens, he stops doing radio.
Yeah.
Because, you know, the Mark from Anaheim
We don't want this
series
to be the last
has
one.
been a valuable cornerstone of this whole operation. You know, and, you know, I want to give a shout out to everybody, you know, Jimmy Blakely, you know, everybody who's came on this show. Thank you all. You know, Jacqueline Laura, rather, and this all you folks, just thank you for coming on the show and sharing with us. Because you know what? If we don't do this, the people don't hear. If people don't hear, you know, that's what they need to hear. They need to hear this good stuff.
Shout out to the Good Fight 97
Yes.
and Pamela Hurst. Shout out to you too.
Peace. You know, and thank you. Thank you all for watching, man.
Ex-Bank Robber 1.
Ex-bank robber. Oh, shit. What you into now, brother?
I don't really have much else, nothing to say.
No, you know, all I want to do is drink, enjoy life, and just have a fun time, man. This is an awesome Friday. Thank you all for joining us tonight. This is the Other Morning Show. I'm TruePowerIsMine.
Dimebag Doily.
On his phone, his very new smartphone, by the way. And peace, y'all.
We out.
See you next Friday.